95% of those that receive their refunds get them electronically. Well, I represent the 5% that do not have access to electronic repayment. Those folks need paper checks and they need their refunds now. I trust that this administration will do all that it can to make sure that all Americans, irrespective of whether they are unbanked or have access to electronic payment, that they get their refunds. And Mr. Davis asked a question that you didn't answer, but I'd like to answer it for you. We're asking that you and your office, the Treasury Department, work with us to make sure that our constituents get their refund checks.
I will commit to do that.
Thank you, sir. I yield back the balance of my time.
That was the first I've seen. And to be clear, that number 5.4% was the Atlanta Fed GDP now, but I know that's inconvenient. So,
thanks. As announced, the committee will stand in a 5-minute brief recess.
Disappears into the air. There's a midnight in your breathing. Something heavy, something sweet. Every name you ever whispered, every step you didn't keep, every reason to keep moving, every reason just to free. Still the rhythm holds you closer, like it's all you need. There's a midnight on your sleeve now, burning low but staying close. Every memory inside it feels like something you won't lose, but the groove keeps getting deeper till you forget what you chose. Midnight resting on your sleeve. You're not ready not to go. Foghorn glass names fade away, hands that touch but never stay. Different stories, same slow fire. Every moment stretched and wired. Time dissolves inside the sound. Hearts get lost, but still are found. Nothing certain, nothing planned. Still you don't let go the hand. Midnight on your sleeve. Something you believe. Lights fade. People go. Still you stay moving slow. Side streets going in a silver haze. We missed the turn, but we drifted anyway. The city humming like a lullaby. Your shadow dancing right next to mine. You move too quick through passing lights. Slow you down to match the night. Stay right here, I say your name. Let this moment
in concert. What we found is that particular survey, we were looking at USDA more efficient, actually was duplicative, and it would work with the right information that we needed. Adjusting the way that maybe perhaps didn't tell the whole story. So we will work to make that better and give us better data so we can better serve the
Okay, last question. Finishing up. It's about government. And you know, government is very important to local, especially farmers markets. And those are retail outlets for local farmers. Can you commit to maintaining and expanding support for customers?
I do agree it's important. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but if you will follow up, and I'd love to have a conversation with you about that. I do agree that support is important.
Thank you so much. The last time you spoke here on this committee, I did invite you to Mexico. As you mentioned, we are neighbors and would love to have you in the States. So looking forward to following up.
you know, I would love that. You've got a couple of lettuce farmers that I talk about all the time in Albuquerque that produce 250,000 head of organic lettuce that go into your schools and hospitals. It's incredible. I'd love to go back and visit them too.
Without a ground, midnight with no map to follow. You and me in borrowed shadows, drifting like a saxophone, playing notes we've never known. You say, don't you dare forget every breath, every silhouette, even when the names all fade. This feeling's never gonna change.
More than $60 billion.
Was close enough to stay tonight. Not enough to cross the line. Every move just holds in place right before it turns to earth. Somewhere near, but it hasn't made it here. We stay caught inside the same quiet, low and steady frame. I could speak, but I don't try. Let it sit, let it ride. In the space we almost crossed, then we stopped before it's lost. Nothing breaks, it only stays in the slow and quiet way. Starts to fade, still it never goes away. Close enough to stay tonight, not enough to cross the line. Every move just holds in place right before it turns to the harbor held a silver breath, tied loosely to the edge of night. Your shadow leaned against the tide, like handwriting that lost its ink. A glass of water caught the room and trembled with a borrowed sky. I watched your silence bloom in waves, then fold into the passing light. The hours slip through open hands like thread too fine to follow, and every corner of the air began to hum your outline. You linger like a color without name, softly staining everything I see. Even time bends slower in your shape, like a tide that never reaches me. The street light flickered once, then stayed, as if it learned to hesitate. Your voice was never truly heard, but moved like warmth beneath the skin. A passing car dissolved in blue, leaving ripples in its wake. And in that brief unspoken turn, I felt the world begin to ache. find to follow. In every corner of the air began to hum your outline. You rest inside the pause between, where sound forgets its weight and form. Every silence gathers into you, like a quiet field before a storm. Now the night reclines in folded tones, a velvet map without a key. I walk through rooms that echo soft, with traces I can almost reach. Your absence paints in subtle hues across the edges of my mind. And every note I try to hold unravels into something kind. The hours slip through open hands, like thread to find to follow. And every corner of the air began to hum your outline. Eyes, a quiet shape I cannot keep. Every moment leans toward your trace and disappears before it speaks. Backseat crowded after sunset, city lights slide down the blast. One slow bass note in the distance, like a shadow drifting past. Radio murmurs low and patient, road lines fading soft and thin. Every mile becomes a rhythm where the night is settling in. Every silence holds a measure, every pause becomes a tone. Something moving through the stillness, like a place we used to roam. You move slowly through the calm of the avenue, like a low note drifting through. Every corner keeps the trace of your footsteps in the groove that feel like you. Traffic lights across the river, blinking red then turning green. Someone laughing on the sidewalk, like a half-remembered scene. Your own voice inside the rhythm of the tires on the lane. Every street becomes a record spinning softly once again. Every silence bends like harmony, loose and warm but barely there. Still your presence rides beside me through the drifting evening air. You move slowly through the calm of the avenue, like a low note drifting through. Every corner keeps the trace of your footsteps in a groove that feels like you. headlights fading in the rear view like wind sliding through the frame. Someone humming from a window, soft and low without a name. Your memory rides the bass rhythm, slow as tires rolling on. Every mile becomes a measure long after the night is gone. Every moment turns to music in the hush of passing pain. Still your shadow keeps the tempo of a slow unfinished love. You move slowly through the calm of the avenue, like a lone oak drifting through. Every corner keeps the trace of your footsteps in the groove that feels like you. The low light bends along your shoulder line, like it forgot the rules of space and time. The quiet sip leaves traces on your lip, then disappears before it can exist. The room is full but folded into two. Everything dissolves except for you. A subtle shift runs underneath the floor, like something waking just a little more. No sudden moves, just let it stay right where the edges start to sway. The air between us pulling tight, like it could tear without a fight. Don't move fast, let it breathe. Hold the space in between. Every pause pulls you near, closer than you appear. The slow drip echoes from the melting ice, counting seconds we don't name twice. Your gaze rests somewhere near my hand, but never fully makes a stand. A distant laugh fades into the wall, like it was never there at all. And in the hush that follows through, the rhythm turns and points to you. We balance all a silent prayer of everything we left unsaid. No need to cross, no need to prove, we're already inside the groove. Don't move fast, let it breathe. Hold the space in between. Every pause pulls you near, closer than you appear. The night leans in without a sound, like gravity that won't be found. The passing touch that never lands still leaves a map across my hand. The doorway waits, but we remain inside this slow and quiet strait. And even when the last note fades, the tension lingers and never breaks. There
Topaz glow spills across the floor. Unsaid signals start to pour. Nothing fixed, just undertone. Something shared but never owned. You step in and hesitate, like you're bending into fate. Eyes half open, reading through every shift I'd never do. Hands describe a hidden line, drawing close but out of time. Spiral interlude, we fall in between the rising star. Every turn repeats the call, but we never reach it all. You don't stay, you rearrange. Every move a subtle change. Shoulders tilt then realign, crossing into undefined. No direction, still we go through a path we never show. Hold it there, don't let it break. Let it hover, let it ache. We don't name what we became. Still it moves without a frame. Closer now than out again. Like a loop that holds it. Spiral interlude, we fall in between the rising stars. Every turn repeats the call. Still we never claim it all. Morning urges through the girth. Still we let a moment pass. No release and no demand. Just a space we understand. Half a step, then stillness stays lost inside these quiet waves. Spiraling to we fall in between the rising stars. Return repeats the call. Still we never claim it all. The low light settles on your moving skin, like it already knows where we begin. A quiet glass rests heavy in your hand, tilting time we never planned. Your breathing shifts just slightly out of line, enough to blur the space with mine. No words arrive, they fall away, but something deeper starts to stay. We don't move, we let it rise in the silence of your tightening we both hold. Stay right here, don't break the thread. Let it circle a sunset. Every pause a deeper bend, pulling closer to the edge. The record leans into a softer tone, like it refuses to stand alone. Your fingers hover just above my wrist, close enough to still exist. A distant sound dissolves too soon, leaving weight inside the room. And in that space something shifts, like gravity in subtle drifts, balanced on a thin line between restraint and what's behind. No retreat and no demand, just a tremor in your hand. Stay right here, don't break the thread. Let it circle a sunset. Every pause a deeper bend, pulling closer to the edge. The night falls close without a sound, like something lost but never found. A passing touch that almost stays, then slips into a quieter phase. The doorway waits but feels too far, like waking inside who we are. And even when the moment ends, the tension lingers, slowly bends, held between the push and pull of something heavy, beautiful. Every second stretched so thin, draws everything further in. Stay right here, don't break the thread. Let it circle a sunset. Every pause a deeper bend, pulling closer to the edge. A narrow lane breathing dim sodium haze, loose wires humming overhead. Someone arguing through thin walls, low voices thick with dread. Shoes scrape slowly across the curb, paper cup spinning alone. Bass keeps tracing stubborn circles, like a code in monotone. Rose drops a crooked tone, then disappears. Something shifting in the zone, you almost hear. Side street cipher calling, low groove carving through the air. Every shadow holds a rhythm, nobody explains it there. Bar door sighs then settles shut, loose laughter fades away. A pool cue taps the wooden floor in a careful stray. Muted guitar flicks a warning, clavinet snaps thin and quick. Someone watching from a doorway, trucks begin their crawl, engines cough away. Good janitor sweeps dust in lines across the bay, still pacing stubborn circles. Brushes whisper on the stairs, city keeping coded patterns, floating everywhere. That quiet signal in the brew still remains. Every hidden little move in backstreet lanes, side street side for calling, low groove carving through the air. Every shadow owes a rhythm nobody explains it there. The room breathes low like it remembers us, a quiet weight in every glance we trust. The amber glow leans heavy on your skin, like something warm that won't let go within. A single drop slides slow along the glass, measuring the moments we let pass. Your stillness moves our ways I can't explain, like distant thunder without the rain. We don't speak, we let it grow in the spaces left below. Every second stretched so thin pulls me deeper, draws me in. Stay like this, don't turn away. Let it hover, let it sway. Every breath, a hidden spark, softly burning in the dark. The vinyl hum bends time in half, skipping truths we never asked. A shadow slips across your face like it found this resting place. Your fingers pause but never land, just above like they understand that some desires don't need release, they live much longer held in peace. We stay balanced on the edge of every unspoken pledge. No retreat and no demand, just the weight of where we stand. Stay like this, don't turn away, don't turn away. Let it hover, let it sway, let it sway. Every breath, a hidden spark, softly burning in the dark. The night wraps snow around the sound of something lost but never found. A passing touch that almost stays, then disappears without a trace. The silence speaks in lower tones, through quiet scanning hidden bones. And even as the moment fades, it leaves a shape that never breaks. Oh, held between the rise and fall of something neither owns at all. Every pause becomes a prayer in the words we never say. Stay like this, don't turn away. Let it hover, let it sway. Every breath, a hidden spark, Raining softly on the glass, like it's trying not to pass. Every drop a careful thought that arrives then comes to naught. Street light bends into the floor, doesn't look like a light anymore, and your shoulder barely moves, but it tells me what you lose. Nothing speaks but something listens in the space the night has written. Every quiet feels position, like it's choosing where to stay. Rain learns your silence slowly, 'cause it's something it can hold. Every fall becomes a story that was never really told. Window traces shifting lines, like a map that won't align. Your reflection comes and goes in a way nobody knows. Even time begins to blur, losing edges in the stir of a moment stretched too thin to decide where it begins. Every glance dissolves its meaning, every breath avoids the leaning, the stillness intervening. There's a shake we never face. Rain on your silence slowly, 'cause it's something it can hold. Every fall becomes a story I was never really told. Morning waits but doesn't claim anything that we became. Blotch remain on quiet skin, like they're trying to stay in. I could speak but let it pass, like the rain against the glass, knowing even if it stays, it'll fade in softer ways. Nothing ends, it only thins. Every loss just gently spins in the place where some begin. There's a hush we never paid. Leaders are silent slowly, 'cause it's something it can't hold. Every fall becomes a story that was never really told. Clock links crooked on the wall, last round drifting through the call. Glasses circle in a line, like a pattern by design. Chair scrapes softly out of time, muted talk and broken rhyme. Every angle feels precise, but nothing here aligns twice. Lines connect and fall apart, measured moves without a start. Every shape avoids the heart, still it pulls me in the dark. I'm tracing through this last call geometry. Every line bends differently. No straight path in front of me, just a quiet symmetry. Bar top reflection split into half of false and half of true. Finger marks and fading rings circle round forgotten things. Low notes drag across the floor like they've all been here before. Every motion calculated slow, still there's something I don't know. Points connect but never stay, shift and slide then drift away. In between the night and day I just hover in the gray. I'm tracing through this last code geometry. Every line bends differently. No straight path in front of me, just a quiet symmetry. But soft and low, like they're careful what to show. I could step outside the frame, but I'd only shift the same. Every figure, every space leaves a mark I can't erase. So I scheme of a slow dissolving scene. Nothing fixed and nothing still. Every line against my will, in the shape I can't fulfill. There's a quiet kind of prayer, tracing through this last cold geometry. Every line bends differently. No straight path in front of me, just a quiet symmetry.
Settle how the American people are feeling about this economy, because I have the data on it right here from Fox News just the other week on the president and this administration's handling of the economy. 71% of the American people disapprove, including 40% of Republicans. On the president's handling of inflation, 72% disapprove. They disapprove, in fact, by a 3-to-1 margin over approval. So, do you agree with the American people, or are they just wrong?
Look, the American people were torched under the Biden administration.
Oh my God! I wish I had $1 for every time you or someone on the Republican side brought up Biden's name. If I did, I might have as much money as you had, Mr. Secretary.
22% of your purchasing power, because that's what happened.
The American people are wrong. The fact that by a 3-to-1 margin, they disapprove of this president and your performance on the economy. They're wrong.
The Democratic House has a 17% approval rating.
No, I understand why you don't want to answer the question. So let me, I forgot to mention, reclaim my time, I forgot to mention, consumer sentiment is at an all-time low. So the numbers on the approval rating of this president of the economy are the lowest since the Great Recession. But in terms of consumer sentiment, which actually does measure whether or not people are optimistic about their future, the lowest in the history of a poll that dates back to 1952.
Well, let's look at the underlying data. 2/3 of those are Democrats. The Democrats.
Now, 2/3 of those polls. So Fox News, The Economist, all the polls are wrong.
Two men arguing cheap thrills.
There have been other surveys as well, but the Michigan survey.
Holding broken patience and
The
muted horn
vote
bends slow and
single
thin.
digits, teens,
Like it
whatever.
knows
Republicans,
where you've
they
been.
vote much higher,
Makes
and
you
that's.
I don't even know what you're saying.
I don't think you know what you're saying. I know what
I'm citing the facts. Those are the facts that you have a problem with. Well, let me just turn to, I only have 2 minutes left. Let me just turn to this. I think it's unquestioned fact that in the 2024 election, President Trump, in my home state, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and throughout the country, especially those 7 big battleground states, he promised the American people, and I quote, "I will lower costs on day one." Well, Mr. Secretary, as it turns out, today is exactly day 500 of this administration, and costs aren't any lower. They are higher than ever before. Inflation is rising. Gas prices are surging. Consumer confidence, again, has collapsed. And healthcare costs are going up thanks to the bill that you helped pass over a year ago. Why won't you just admit that this has been a failed presidency? Because the first step to turning this around would be admitting the problem.
2.6% GDP growth, exceptional job growth, that's the average since President Trump came into office. Real wage increases every month except for April. So
Once again, inflation is eating away at the pocketbooks of the American people. I can tell you this, in 30 seconds, reclaiming my time, in the 30 seconds I have left, when I was back home in Northeast Philly a couple days ago, and at a gas station, people were paying over $4.50 a gallon. They were feeling a lot of things, a lot of emotions. I guarantee you, optimism wasn't one of them. With that, I yield back.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I'll recognize Mr. Murphy for 5 minutes.
You know, memory is a wonderful thing to study. How we
I think George Orwell called it memory holing.
Yeah. So it's really hilarious, I think, actually sad and pathetic on another hand, that people don't remember. You know, I'm sorry that people get triggered when they talk about the former president, but 21% cumulative inflation during 4 years, which I think, maybe you're smarter than I am in this regard, contributes a lot to what's going on. Now, that said, I think it's actually pathetic that the other side of this dais places more concern about talking about gas prices. They didn't talk about gas prices during the last administration when they were higher actually than they were now. But they placed more concern about that than the fact that their children and grandchildren might get irradiated by a nuclear weapon one day. And we're actually finally doing something about that.
I couldn't agree more, Congress. Someone with children who hopes to have grandchildren one day, President Trump is future-proofing this Iranian regime against having a nuclear weapon. And the short-term challenges that we are seeing now, it would be nothing compared to that.
Yeah, and you know, I totally commiserate those, especially lower income individuals where it's harder right now. Absolutely, understand. But if we look back on one of the great historical lessons of Britain during the Battle of Britain and the things that they took on to save the fact that they didn't want to be destroyed by Nazi Germany, the same thing that we don't want to be destroyed by a radical Islamic regime, which is in their constitution to do so, then hardships sometimes are challenging.
I think the best analogy here is World War I. Germany hadn't declared war on the U.S. We just knew that it was a menace, that it was a cancer that had to be stopped. And we have cut the head off the snake. Everyone should remember the number of Americans who have died at the hands of the Iranians since 1979. They are the world's leading sponsor of state terrorism, whether it's the USS Cole, through their proxies, whether it was the barracks in Beirut, and on and on.
Yeah, we had a vote yesterday, basically, that was applauded. Not so much maybe it was anti-Trump, because everything's anti-Trump these days, but it was more pro-Iranian in so many different regards. Nothing against the Iranian people, but the Islamic regime wants to kill Americans, and has done so, as you point out, since 1979. Let me just pivot just a little bit question here, because I would love to have your thought about this. I hear time and time again from the other side that the rich are not paying their fair share. can you tell me, did the working families tax cuts, was it something just for the rich?
Those are under BCJA, that the highest income brackets paid 10% higher. And I can see that especially for the president's signature policy, 99% of the filers on no tax and tips make less than 200%. They make less than $200,000. No tax and overtime. 6% of the filers. 75% make less than 100.
So I've asked them,
the rich don't get tips. The rich, don't need the senior deduction.
Yeah, so I've just asked them repeatedly, tell me what that percentage is. What is the fair share? The fact that the top 1% donate 1/3 of all the donations in this country. Yeah, maybe they should do more. I don't have no issue with that, but that's a voluntary thing. And you've read the book Atlas Shrugged, right?
Yes, sir.
Don't you think we're seeing a lot of lessons from that today?
I think we're seeing more lessons from 1984.
Well, yes, indeed. Let me pivot just a little bit to a challenging topic, and that's our debt. And the fact that I think we've had pro-growth policies put forth in our tax bill, which may not be readily apparent right now, right? So I wonder if you could just give me what you think is what our projections are going to be, debt to GDP, what's going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years with all the investment that's going to be coming in.
As I said earlier, Congressman, that we are creating highly productive assets that will be generating high returns that will then go into the tax base. This manufacturing renaissance that we're seing creates jobs in two ways. The companies will be paying more taxes. They've availed themselves, as we wanted them to, of 100% full expensing on equipment for factories, for farm structures, and that will go into the tax base. I call it the slingshot effect. Right. Pull it back, and then it starts paying off.
It's like a slinky. If God forbid there was a Democrat that got into the next White House, they're going to come in and claim all the wonderful benefits that we're going to see at that point in time. Just kind of like the Biden administration talked about all the job creation after they destroyed all the jobs and then just restored them. So thank you for the work that you do. You are doing the good Lord's work in a very, very challenging environment. Deeply appreciated. Thank you. I'll yield back.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Fishbach.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Secretary, I want to say thank you for being here because it's always good to see you, and I genuinely appreciate the information that you have and when we have the opportunity to have the discussion and be able to ask questions. But I really am sorry that the other side chooses not to acknowledge any good that's come out of this bill. And that's simply because this committee, the Republicans, Chairman Smith and President Trump are the ones that did it. So they refuse to see any of the good. And I'm sorry about that because I think that they're missing a lot.
Look, I'd be worried because all these tax returns that we got that had one of the president's signature policies, they all voted against them. They all voted for the biggest tax hike. They all voted against increasing the child tax credit. They voted to cut it in half.
And I feel like they did it simply because President Trump supported it. And so, absolutely, and I do feel sorry, and I am sorry about the fact that they believe that being rude is the way to have any kind of discussion, that the only thing that they're seeking is social media clicks. And so I apologize for that because I not only your position, but also the information you're able to provide. And I think it's important that we have civil discussions as opposed to this kind of yelling at people and not letting them speak. So I apologize for that. But I just wanted to ask a little bit. My district is very rural, very family oriented. And so I wanted you to maybe talk a little bit about particularly those families that benefit from what was done in the bill, the pro-family provisions, and maybe a little bit about that so that people can understand better what we really did for those families.
Your breast drifting through the midnight air.
Well, first of all, permanence is very important. We increased the child tax credit from $2,000 to $2,200. That is permanent, and we've done per child. 40 million families have claimed this benefit, and with everything here, as someone has studied the history of economics, we would have had a cataclysmic event if we'd had a $5 trillion tax hike.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I think it's incredibly important, like I said, to not only to all of the families, and I, like I said, represent a rural area with lots of families, and so I think it's incredibly important that we do provide those kinds of tax breaks for those folks. And what would have happened had we not been able to do that is incredible.
And I think we have a barbell here. The representative that we have on one side, it's the expensing of business equipment, can be farm equipment. We have ag structures. And then on the other side, the president's 4 signature policies.
And you anticipated, I think, some of where I was going to go with the ag, but I also did want to, with the little bit of time I've got left, is talk a little bit about the small businesses, because our communities depend so much on those small business. And I think that 199A has been discussed earlier, but I think that if you have anything else to say on how just critical these tax cuts are to those small businesses, because I will tell you, those small businesses are absolutely the backbone of my district. And so if there's anything else you want to add on that.
Well, Representative of the Wall Street Journal accused me of being a populist. The firebrand, because I said it's time for Main Street to do well, which I pointed out to them. That's why it's called the Wall Street Journal, not the Main Street Journal. And this is a Main Street administration. I came from a small town, and Wall Street always does well, and everything with 199, they make sure that Main Street small businesses, as I said earlier, many people put their life savings into these businesses, and they are the backbone of many of our communities. We try to make sure that they have proper lending, but importantly, when you're going to take on that kind of financial risk for yourself, your family, you want to have certainty. I think we've given them great certainty. I think permanence. I think permanence in these tax cuts. You'll never have to call them tax cuts again because they are permanent.
Well, and with my remaining couple of seconds, I know that you were invited to Pennsylvania, but I'd like to invite you to Minnesota anytime, and so that you would get outside of the metro area and into the rural areas where these permanent tax cuts have really had an effect. So I thank you for being here, and Mr. Chair, I yield back.
Thank you. Mr. Secretary, there's no need to read that paper anyhow. I would just point that out. Mr. Byer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, ranking member. Mr. Secretary, thank you for being here. And I have no intention of trying to find something for social media. I share your concern. I'd love to see faster economic growth in America. 3% would be amazing. It would help us begin to unwind the huge deficit that we have right now. What I am much more concerned about is not all the individual statistics. My college statistics textbook was lies, damn lies, and statistics. We can all pick out the ones that we like and the ones we don't like. I'm much more concerned about it on a more macro level, that on at least 5 things, like you, I've studied economic history a great deal, that the administration is moving in ways that seem contrary to everything that I've learned about economic growth. Number one, of course, is the tariffs. Tariffs have rarely been good, and we've seen study after study that's shown that 96% of the tariff revenue so far has been paid for by American consumers and American businesses. Also, it's not led to a reshoring of manufacturing. Second is workforce. We know the 2 drivers of economic growth are workforce participation and technology productivity improvements with the immigration enforcement. No one here objects to deporting criminals. But we've imprisoned or deported hundreds of thousands of hardworking people paying American taxes with American families that have now, according to the businesses I talk to, the builders can't build, the farmers can't farm, our fast food places are all doing. All those workers that necessary are gone. Number 3, the war of choice. It has an acute complex regime change. It didn't bring democracy to Iran. They still have the missile capabilities, which we are seeing every day, and they still have the nuclear stuff. I see a Trump administration scrambling to recreate the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action that he walked away from, that actually had nuclear weapons 20 years away in Iran. And we'll be lucky if we can get back to that again. And then there's the disinvestment in research. 20% cuts to almost all university research. National Science Foundation down 55%. The science departments at NOAA and EPA eliminated. It cuts to NIH and CDC. And what we're seeing is the young scientists in America fleeing to Germany and to France and to England, places that they want them. This is back to where does our growth come from? And then I think maybe the most damning thing, half of the growth last year, which by the way, according to the Federal Reserve is 2.1%, not 2.6. It was 1.6% according to the Federal Reserve in the first quarter of this year. Those are not anything like the 2.8 that we had in 2024. But that half of the GDP growth last year of that 2.1% came from data centers alone. Okay, there are 831 data centers right now under construction. I live in an area that has half, 2/3, 3/4 of the data centers in America. I am a big AI optimist, but I promise you, so many of the people that I talk to are hating the data centers because of the impact on water, the sound, the particulate matter, the electricity costs, and ultimately the fears about what all that AI may do to their privacy and their concerns. So, I want you to be successful because I'm an American and I love my country and I want to have 3% growth. I just worry that so many of the decisions that you have made, the president made, are moving us in the wrong direction. And with that, rather than getting into an argument about you, I know your responses. Let me move to something that I think has not been touched upon today.
Is that president in the courtroom asked and answered?
Oh, yeah, maybe. The president announced that he was appointing. You had plenty of chance today. They appointed a businessman and current head of the Federal Housing Financing Authority with zero background in intelligence gathering and national security to be the acting DNI. Of course, I speak for many of us. We think that Mr. Pulte is wildly unqualified for this job and also misused his limited authority as head of the Federal Housing Finance Association to manufacture bogus mortgage fraud cases against the president's enemies. But I know that you've had some interaction with him before. I think you said at the Finance Committee yesterday that you told him you were going to kick his rear end. But rather than going through an intensive search and vetting process, we look at you, who had to go through all that, who had to be vetted, voted in by the U.S. Senate. Doesn't it bother you as a Senate-confirmed, deeply vetted cabinet official that you're going to be asked to serve with a character like Bill Pulte?
I think the president has chosen a great cabinet. I think he continues to. And I think that it's a false assumption when you look at highly credentialized people. If I look, no one had more credentials than Jake Sullivan. And as I just said, I think he's the worst national security advisor of all time. Do you think the Afghan pullout was done in a good way? 13 people. It was tragic. 13 people died at the Kabul airport. He wrote a piece in Foreign Affairs magazine that had to be redone online. I've still got the hard copy where he said everything's fine in the Middle East. And then we got October 7th. So I don't believe in credentials. I've actually made a lot of my money over the years heading against the status quo. And I think President Trump, you wouldn't have thought that a real estate developer could come down an escalator and become president twice. It's never been done before.
I always point out that the Afghan withdrawal was done on Trump's timeline after it was negotiated at Camp David with Mike Pompeo.
All right, Mr. Moore.
Thank you, Chairman. This is a very important hearing, and particularly Mr. Secretary for being here. I want to commend the work that you and your staff have done over the last 11 months to implement the working families tax cuts. As a father of 4 and a representative from the youngest state in the country, I'm proud of the fact that we focus so much on supporting families and the next generation through an increased child tax credit, refundability of the adoption tax credit, and of course, the creation of Trump accounts. Mr. Secretary, Treasury has indicated that over 5.5 million Trump accounts have been opened. 5.5 million. With 86% of them linked to families making less than $200,000. Can you speak to what this investment in lower and middle income Americans and children will do for their future?
Good. Congressman Moore, thank you for your leadership on this. I think that this is one of the most important benefits for young people, maybe since the GI Bill. 38% of American households have no exposure to our great financial markets. They believe that they are on the outside looking in. I grew up in a rural place in South Carolina. I only knew that something bad had happened on Wall Street in 1929. And I have pushed and pushed for financial literacy. And I think this is going to do two things. We're creating a generation of shareholders that when the program goes live, and we're at 6 million as of this morning. When we go live, July 4th is a Saturday, we'll go live on July 6th. That all those families will be able to look at the app and know that they have a share in our great economy, in our great markets. And we are creating a treasury, we've created learning modules, trumpaccounts.gov. And I think this is going to be the ultimate learning experience. And on the back end of this, that when the children turn 18, they can take it out. They can use it for down payment on a home. They can use it for education. They can roll it into a retirement account that they take out when they're 65. So I think that this, as a supplement to our current programs, is going to prove one of the most durable legacies.
You make a point that not enough people had access to it, and I think you and I and many others understand that there was an opportunity to have access, and it only requires a little to make a huge impact in their life, but getting started is insurmountable to a lot of people. They think, oh, this isn't for us, this isn't for me. What this does is it makes it so it is literally in front of every single an opportunity for every single child in America to be able to have it there and have it part of it. The other aspect of it that I think is due to some of the most, what I think has been the most incredible part that's come in the aftermath of passing it is I don't recall seeing, really, in my, maybe you got better examples, but over $6 billion given to one specific initiative of philanthropic dollars from the Dell family and so many others that are involved. Can you help put this into perspective, how significant and wide-ranging private and philanthropic investment is to Trump accounts?
A lot of excellent points there, Congressman. First, there's this idea of food deserts that people weren't able to get, or still aren't, maybe able to get nutritious food because they're in a food desert. There have been financial service deserts that people don't have the minimums to open some kind of a non-bank account where they can get access. So I think that this is curing that. This is a free, low-cost, no-cost entry. If your child's born during President Trump's term, you get $1,000. But as you highlight, I think that this is a change in philanthropy. Foundations, great philanthropists like Michael and Susan Dell can donate directly to the children of America. No big foundation buildings, no annual gala, no speakers, straight to the children of America. And what Susan and Michael have done, that they are giving to they have excluded the top 20% of zip codes in America. They're going to give to every eligible child in those zip codes. It will be $250 per account. That's what that's $6.25 billion. And we have more and more philanthropists who are coming on board all over the country. We have major corporations that are doing it for their employees. People can adopt school districts. They can adopt zip codes. They can adopt states. I think we're going to see foundations and many state governments are getting on board. So we have created the delivery device and the holding tank for this, and I think it's going to explode.
It's galvanized so much more than I think people even expected at the group that's been involved with this, Invest America, from the start, getting it to where we are. It's been an absolute honor to be able to work with the team on this and look forward to some of the best opportunities. Like I said, I have 4 young boys under 13 years old. I was at their age when I learned the concept of a checkbook. They're going to be able to learn the concept of compound interest and how just a little bit now is going to affect them later. And I yield back. Thank you.
Ms. Van Dyne.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Secretary, for joining us today. I think it's safe to say that you have probably worked as hard as anyone over the last 18 months, and no one has done more for the American people than this administration and this Treasury Department. Mr. Secretary, when President Trump took office, what were the biggest economic challenges facing the administration?
Well, we inherited a mess. We've had the worst inflation in 49 years, and I think in many ways the worst for working people in our nation's history, because someone was asking me about the inflation indices earlier, that's the average for working families, that it is thought that many of their goods and services inflated as much as 35% with an 18% wage gain. So the loss in purchasing power was tremendous. We were running the biggest deficit to GDP that we'd ever run, 6.7, 6.9%, when we were not at war, not in a recession, and we had to get that under control. And then everything that was happening to our American workers, from the border being open, and whether it was safety or jobs being taken.
So since January of last year, what would you say that the largest economic indicators have been showing the greatest improvement?
I would say that every month except this past April, we've seen real wage increases. We've seen, on average, 2.6% GDP growth for the past 4 quarters. And the underlying resilience of the economy, we pulled down the fiscal deficit to GDP. We got it down to about 5.5%, so we had a fiscal contraction and still grew. And Representative, everything all the jobs we're creating, they're in the private sector and they're for Americans.
I appreciate you saying that, 'cause the previous administration often pointed to job growth as evidence of economic success, but much of that growth, as you just mentioned, came from the government hiring. So can you explain the difference between in an economy that is driven by government job creation versus that in the private sector?
We see the productivity go up, but more importantly, for the people who are getting those jobs, that they're very difficult to create real wage increases. Traditionally, government jobs are indexed to the CPI, so you're just keeping up. With private sector, people can move up. And we are creating, with the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, we're having a building boom in manufacturing structures, and that if someone's economically illiterate said to me, well, where are all these manufacturing jobs? Well, manufacturing jobs take time. I was up in my hometown of Charleston, South Carolina. Boeing is expanding their facility there by 50%. It's the Dreamliner production facility. So first you get construction jobs, then you get 1,000 high-paying jobs in the Boeing factory, and we're seeing that again and again.
Well, I think the goal of public policy shouldn't be to make government dependency more comfortable, right? But it should be to make economic independence more attainable. And so, would you agree that the most effective way to improve a family's financial situation is not through government assistance, but through higher wages and better job opportunities?
100%, and the opportunity to start your own business, and that's what we're seeing too. That in terms of Main Street coming back, one of the things, I spent my career in the financial sector, and 45% of our small and community banks disappeared since the great financial crisis. Senator Warren likes to say, ooh, we might have a bank failure. She killed 45% of the small banks.
I think the Trump administration is rightly focused on creating the conditions for private sector growth and for private sector hiring, because every new private sector job represents an American who is less dependent on government and more empowered into their own future. And I think as Congress considers policies that encourage work and reduce dependency, I do believe that we have a responsibility to connect people with opportunities. So I'm going to ask you, what are you doing on August 6th?
I'm not even sure what I'm doing.
Let me tell you, for the 5th consecutive year, I am hosting what has become the nation's largest job fair. Last year, we had over 500 businesses that represented over 33,000 jobs, and we had about 35,000 people came last year to Globe Life Field, and we're going to do it again this year, August 6th. And we would love to have you there. I'm formally inviting you right now to attend. Because if you want to know about economic policy, don't ask anybody in Washington. Ask the single mom who now has a job that pays the bills. Ask a vet who now finds a new career. Ask a worker who can get off economic government federal assistance because he's got a job that has given him a new opportunity. These are the real scorecards that I think that we should be looking at.
Well, I was just in Texas a few weeks ago. I'm going to be there next week, and that is the land of opportunity.
I appreciate you saying that. I think the clearest measure of successful domestic policy is whether Americans believe opportunity exists. And I think on August 6th, there were 35,000 people that are walking to Globe Life Field looking for not for government assistance, but looking for jobs. And over 500 businesses will be there because they need workers. And to me, that's the strongest real-world indicator that President Trump's economic agenda is working. And with that, I yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Evans.
Just a crooked little move.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for being here, Mr. Secretary. The Trump-Biden administration administration is failing at home and abroad. It is not smart investment for the future. And certainly on the affordability agenda American people deserve. The president's policy has left Americans paying more in food and gas and health care and electricity. Electricity prices is especially important to me because it's related to the growing concern around the cost of data centers and future investment in energy. Meanwhile, the Trump administration has said he does not care about the financial situation of America. He has called the gas price peanuts, while the GOP focuses on problems and making money for Trump and his allies. Working families are paying the price. So I say to you, Mr. Secretary, obviously, there's concerns that we all have about what is occurring. Though I know you may have a different view, I want to share with you the view that I'm having and living with and hearing my constituents talk about. So as a result, I yield back the balance of my time and thank the chairman and the ranking member for this opportunity of listening. Again, I thank you.
Thank you, Congressman.
Thank you, Mr. Kingston.
Thank you, Chairman and Ranking Member. Thank you for holding this hearing. I truly enjoy always talking with you. I was a professor of business and economics, and when I got my doctorate, actually I did some work on what you've done in the past. So I'm always very impressed. I wanted to say we've done some historic things over the last year. Obviously, the big beautiful bill, the Working Families Tax Cuts Act, is just incredible. Can you talk a little bit about that bill? I'm going off script a little bit, so I hope I'm okay. But can you talk about international tax and what that is going to do to bring onshore businesses and keep the U.S. competitive around the world? We have so many multinationals and other companies that do jobs around the world, and I see a lot of this employment coming back, and a lot of the workforce that we're going to have in the U.S. is going to grow. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So, couple of things, and I enjoyed our trip out to Iowa. I remember being there when everyone says that the gasoline prices aren't going to come down. I remember the level when we went to the diner.
That's right.
And they will come down.
You know what? And they're all happy. You know, compared to what everybody else is saying, all the farmers are happy.
There's a change in how you breathe. Not enough for anyone to see. But I
corporations have a choice globally. And I think with this administration, I've often described that we have a three-legged stool, and it is tax, trade, trade, and regulatory certainty. And all of those have worked to push the businesses back into the U.S. to make them want to come here. And it's certainty. Come here, you have tax certainty, you have regulatory certainty, and you have energy certainty. The U.S. is an energy superpower. And I am responsible for the U.S. economic dialogue with China. And when I look at what does China envy the U.S. over, it's our military. It is our economic system and the strength of the dollar. It is our innovation, and it is our energy. And we can't take those for granted. And all of that centers around the tax policy and this immediate expensing. It's my belief that in China they spend about 4% of GDP subsidizing industry. That's right. So we are a command and control economy. What we tell people, I don't go through the S&P 500 and say,
there's no reason left to speak.
You need a new assembly line. We just give companies 100% expensing, and they can do what is best for them.
And it's capitalism. I mean, it works well. And like I said, we're not giving anything like China. It's just phenomenal. It's just immediate expensing, and that's just a timing issue. I just want to talk about, I was really involved in the ACRE Act. This was borrowing, farmers that borrow costs from manufacturers and agricultural businesses and stuff like this. Could you highlight how this will help strengthen America's agricultural economy? If you know a little bit about it or not, what it is, it's the tax on the loans. And we have lowered that. We want to continue to lower that. And can you just tell how that could incentivize growth in rural America?
Well, I think that deferral on the tax is very important because there is nothing with more fixed assets. Farming is an interesting business. My family's been in the farming business for 250 years. That it's an interesting business because you have high fixed income assets or high fixed assets, but you have uncertainty based on weather, production. So that's there is a lot of uncertainty, and this brings much more certainty in terms of cash flow to those farms.
Yes, absolutely. Then one final thing, based on farming and stuff like that, I call it the pilfer tax. It's actually government sticking their hand in the grave and wringing a dead person's neck and saying, you owe us 40% in death tax. I'm always appalled by this when somebody passes away and all of a sudden we say, oh, by the way, you owe us 40% tax if you pass that land on or that manufacturing or that small business on to the next generation. So we did $15 million. Thank you to President Trump and everyone else to get that done. What is your thoughts on trying to permanently get rid of the death tax? I mean, you tend to agree it's sort of a pilfer tax.
Well, all that capital has already been taxed at least once, many times twice. And to go back to farmland, in many, I've studied tax policy around the world. In many countries, including the UK, farmland is not subject to death duty.
That's right. That's right. Thank you so much. Always good to see you. Thank you. I yield back. Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Chair, New York Caucus.
Thank you very much, Secretary Besson. Thank you very much. Welcome to our committee. It is great to have you here. First, I want to say thank you for your words in support of suspending the federal gas tax. I have legislation that would do that. It would suspend it for 90 days, give the president additional authority for 125 days. I'm introducing that with my colleague, Max Miller, on this committee as well, and we hope that we can get that through. Number two, I wanted to say that, when pointing out some of what my colleagues on the other side have been saying about the working families tax cuts, the fact remains that this was a historic tax cut for working Americans, for middle-class families, for senior citizens. They are the ones who voted to cut the standard deduction in half, to cut the child tax credit in half, to increase tax rates for Americans across the board. And they also voted against tax cuts for tipped workers, those who work double shifts and overtime, for refunding taxes paid on Social Security to our senior citizens. And so first, the SALT deduction and the senior citizens, I believe, in addition to the child tax credit, which we've seen tens of millions of families take advantage of across the country, I think the SALT and the senior deduction were most beneficial. I was very proud to have authored the bonus senior deduction, and I think essentially it has given back seniors that qualify the taxes that they paid on Social Security, and they're seeing that money returned to them, which is why it is no tax on Social Security provision. Could you talk a little bit about SALT and senior deduction, how that benefited, preferably New York, but the entire country?
Well, I think in high-tax jurisdictions, high-income, high-tax like yours, bringing back some level of the SALT deduction, it was appropriate. I think that no one negotiated harder. Well, maybe a couple people, but it was a group effort from some of the Northeast and California delegations, and I think we got to a very good spot on that. SALT, that if this tax bill had expired, the SALT deduction would have come back, but so would the AMT, which would have devastated
the middle class,
everyone in those states. So, and look, as I travel around, whether it is the Social Security deduction, when I look at these numbers, 99% of the filers claiming no tax and tips, incomes under $200,000, 90% under $100,000. For the senior deductions, 94% under $200,000, 68% under $100,000. So these are people on fixed incomes, and they need certainty.
Yeah, and the SALT deduction, again, was not for billionaires. It was targeted to families of incomes of less than $500,000.
I think it was very well tapered.
It certainly was, and I know that.
Tailored and tapered.
And I can tell you that in my district, we have many people who have saved thousands of dollars because of that SALT deduction, and seniors who have saved thousands of dollars because of the other deduction as well. And I just want to turn to some of these organizations that we've been talking about. Our committee has investigated these organizations that have, we're seeing a lot of foreign influence. We continue to see examples of foreign actors exploiting nonprofit organizations to interfere in our political process to fuel anti-Semitism, in some cases even support or promote terrorism. We have also seen an increase in these organizations coordinating with and receiving support from individuals connected to the Chinese Party. One of these organizations is Code Pink, which Department of Treasury, your department, as well as Justice, have launched an investigation into. I mean, the Code Pink founders and groups there, they've been meeting with Cuba's communist regime, the Iranian regime. In the past, they've met with leadership of Hamas. I would like to have an update on your investigation, and do you see the potential for some of these organizations to have their 501c3 status stripped?
So I'm going to have to say it to this side of the room now. I can't comment on ongoing investigations, but they are fulsome.
Okay. Well, we appreciate your efforts, and I yield back my time. And thank you for coming here, and thank you for putting up with some of the nonsense that we're hearing.
Thank you. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Carmel Valley, Mr. Panetta.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate that. Secretary Brissett, thanks for being here. I guess you go by Dr. Brissett based on that South Carolina degree that was conferred on you.
Only for the working press.
Understood. Look, as you heard, I hail from Carmel Valley, the place I grew up. Place my Italian immigrant grandfather settled, thank God. We have a lot of beauty, we got a lot of bounty, but unfortunately that means a lot of people want to live there. So housing affordability does remain a major challenge in my district. And one of the reasons people aren't selling their homes is because they're going to take a huge hit on taxes, as I'm sure you're aware of, based on the fact that there is a capital gains exclusion, but that's from 1997, and it remains capped at the fact that it's only $250,000 for individuals, $500,000 for couples, and it has not kept up with inflation. As a result, many people who've grown out of their homes just aren't selling because they want to protect their nest egg. Now, I got a simple bipartisan bill that actually has 18 members of the Ways and Means Republicans on my bill. And in fact, except the chair at this point, but I'm trying to get him as well. That being said, the president has actually supported this idea as well. And so not just because the president supported this type of legislation for doubling those numbers, making it 250 to 500 and 500 to 1 million, and then tagging it to inflation, would you support that type of solution when it comes to dealing with our affordability crisis, affordable home housing crisis?
I haven't seen studies that would show that how many openings that would create, but I'd be happy to work with you on it. I remember it's a Clinton era program.
Yeah.
And I remember when the
when
the Clintons changed it previously, you were allowed a one-time deduction over some age, 60, 65, or one-time tax-free sale. You could roll your appreciation up to that sale. So I think there are a lot of things that we can look at. I don't want it to seem, I'm older than you are, and I'm constantly told the boomers get too much. I don't want it to seem like something that it's a giveaway to the boomers.
Hey, completely understood, and look forward to talking to you and continuing negotiations on this. But I appreciate your acceptance of being open to the concept. So I appreciate that and look forward to working with you. But look, I think, as you know, and as you've heard, it's not just housing that makes it tough when it comes to affordability. Over the last year, inflation has rose through 3.8%. Energy has rose 17.9%. Gasoline prices have rose 28.4%. Food has rose by 3.2%. And core inflation is still elevated at 2.8%. And look, I know you got some good numbers. I understand that. But the fact is that when you speak to people on the ground, including the polling that Mr. Boyle referred to, prices are a major financial concern. Now, the costs have been exacerbated clearly by the Iran war, but also tariffs. Two areas I just want to hit on quickly. I realize you said the war is temporarily paused. I think you said that, or you said that at the press conference you had last week. And you said that once it's resolved and there is a deal, gas prices will drop. Got it. But the president recently said that the Strait of Hormuz will be closed through Labor Day. Is that your definition of temporary, and are gas prices going to remain high through the summer?
Yeah, I didn't see that from the president, and every indication I have is that they should be open sooner.
Okay.
And we've already seen oil prices down.
Understood, Mr. Secretary, and I don't like saying this, but claiming my time. Tariffs are also affecting these prices. And many people in small business in my district tell me that it's not just tariffs, but the constant change in the tariff policy that we've seen over the last year. Just yesterday, the administration announced another change in tariff policy and another tariff regime. 14 countries subject to 10%, 56 countries subject to 12.5% tariffs. Has Treasury done any sort of assessment on the impact of these frequent changes to the tariff policy and what they're having on small businesses? And is there an exclusion process planned to help these small businesses because of these types of changes in tariff policy?
Well, I would have to dispute that the cost increases were due to tariff policy, because last year the inflation was in services and we don't tariff services.
Got it. But have you done any sort of assessment as to whether or not you can help small businesses get through these types of tariffs?
Well, I think we've already done a lot with small businesses in the working families tax cut. So,
okay. All right. So you have it. That's fine. What I'm going to reclaim my time just because you're not getting to the point.
In terms of the refund,
I'm reclaiming my time, Mr. Secretary. Thank you. But please know I think that should be done in regards to our small businesses. Now, also in regards to Mr. Pulte, I was an intelligence officer. I served in Afghanistan, and I served proudly, and I dealt with the intelligence community. I know what you say about not having experience in the job, but please know that that's offensive to people in the intelligence community, and worse, it's dangerous to our national security to have someone like that at that position. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for being here. I yield back.
Thank you, Congressman.
Thank you, the gentleman from Buckeye State, Mr. Kerry.
I want to thank the chair. I want to thank the ranking member, but also Mr. Secretary. It's great to see you again. Thank you for being with us. And again, I want to touch upon a lot of the facets with the working families tax cuts and how it has affected the average American. But first, I do want to say quite frankly, I just want to kind of highlight some of the successes within this monumental piece of legislation. You know, this landmark legislation was drafted with every American in mind. It didn't matter their race, gender, their income level, their marital status. This affected all Americans. The overall share of taxes paid by the top 1%. At the end of the day, this is a fact. This isn't disputed. It went up. Well, a family with 2 children saw their tax returns increase by an average of 11%. That's fact. For our small businesses, think about our small business, the backbone of the American economy. We permanently extended
Wasteland drips like falling embers.
For our seniors, coming off the Social Security fairness that we did in the prior administration, but for our firefighters and our postal workers and our police officers, but just what we did within the Social Security space, a $6,000 tax deduction. This is greater than the Social Security taxes the average senior household currently pays. For our manufacturers built this country, we implemented 100% immediate expensing for equipment, machinery. That's what we did. Now, there's been a lot of talk about energy, there's been a lot of talk about fuel prices for our country. And I want to just highlight a couple numbers because we've heard a lot of numbers, and energy happens to be something I do know a little bit about. But today, the average gallon of gas is $4.24 per gallon. Into the previous administration, same time, average price was $5.16. Without the sort of Damocles of a nuclear warhead
slipping through
in Iran. You have to understand history to understand how terrible that regime and the threat that would have been for all Americans. But let's talk about the pro-family policies this monumental piece of legislation did. It permanently extended $2,200 tax credit, tied it to inflation. Every working family.
Then it slowly
every working
fades to
family.
gray.
Extended the adoption tax credit.
Piano scattered,
Expanded education savings accounts to include additional
Across
K
the
through 12
shape
additional
I cannot
expenses.
trace.
Expanded the health savings accounts.
And every
Great
glance
things.
you leave
Improved
suspended
employer-provided child care
starts
tax credits.
erasing its own place.
Made permanent paid family leave and
Nothing
medical leave
holds a
tax
steady
credit.
outline.
Our children
Still it lingers in
recap
the air.
benefits of the Trump accounts, in which 5 million children have already been enrolled. Now, this legislation didn't pick winners and losers. It didn't prioritize certain segments of the American population over others. And it's not a government handout to any particular economic sector.
Every touch
This is sound tax policy focused on tax certainty for all American businesses, putting more money in the pockets of hardworking Americans, putting our country on a trajectory for economic success. Mr. Secretary, I know that you've had to listen to a lot of things today, and we do appreciate your service. We do appreciate you leaving the private sector to do something that, in many ways, is a very difficult position to be in. Mr. Secretary, your time, your staff's commitment, and this commitment of the administration to make America a better place, we appreciate that. So with that, thank you again for being here today. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Gentleman yields.
Congressman, thank you.
Also from the Buckeye State, Mr. Miller is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, great to see you again.
Good to see you.
No, Chairman, just a better part of the Buckeye State, for the record. But thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you to Secretary Besson for your testimony before this committee today. It is much appreciated. Since we last discussed digital assets in this room, the landscape has shifted from a conversation about the rise of these technologies to a question of how we successfully integrate them into our regulatory tax infrastructure. We've seen meaningful progress. The Senate Banking Committee has advanced the Clarity Act to build a market structure framework. Additionally, I, along with my colleague to my left over here, Jeff Horsford, have introduced the Digital Asset Parity Act to finally provide the common sense tax certainty our businesses and investors truly require throughout our country. We are no longer debating whether digital assets are here to stay any longer, but rather how we define the rules of the road, and we believe that this is necessary now at this time in our history. I truly look forward to discussing how Treasury can collaborate with Congress to ensure these dual frameworks provide the economic stability and tax fairness the American people deserve. Mr. Secretary, the Parity Act was introduced to solve the phantom income and tax as cash hurdles that currently plague American businesses and everyday investors. We've seen that without tax parity, companies are hesitant to adopt these tools. Individuals are burdened by the reporting requirements that feel more like friction tax than truly a fair system. So I'll just get right to it. As the Treasury Department looks at the current tax code, how do you see the Parity Act, specifically its provisions for stablecoin payments and the elective deferral of staking and mining rewards as a catalyst for keeping digital asset innovation within the United States rather than forcing it offshore?
So, Congressman, thank you for those questions. This administration and Treasury's goal is to onshore digital assets, both with the innovations that we're seeing and U.S. standards and practices. So we would like to work with both of you on this to perfect the right balance between how this should be done. But I do think whenever we get to these new technologies, there is an adjustment period. We have to think about them in a different way. And I believe not only for the technology, for the payment rails, it's essential for us to be the leader to maintain dollar dominance. And we we want to have the best standards in the U.S. that we can export to the rest of the world. So we'd be happy to work with you on that.
Thank you very much. We've been working extremely hard over the last, I'd say, 15 to 16 months to bring a framework. And truly what we're seeking here really is, besides the name of the legislation, clarity and parity and just stability for the tax code for these individuals. And I very much thank you for your answer and you willing to work with both of us on committee and all of us. Our bill also...
Congressman, I would say let's get clarity done by the 4th of July, and then we move on to the...
Mr. Secretary, I would love that. If you could help me with some of those individuals.
I've been on the phone with them this week.
All right, well, if that thing gets moving, then yes, it makes our job much easier, and I would prefer that way as well. But thank you, and any more guided push would be awesome on our committee, and very grateful. A critical piece of this legislation is the application of Section 1058, like treatment to digital asset lending. If the Treasury Department were to formally recognize digital asset lending as analogous to the securities lending covered under Section 1058, what is your assessment of on the domestic market liquidity? And specifically, does Treasury agree that extending this established tax treatment of non-recognition is one of the most efficient levers to move digital assets from a speculative asset class to a functional, transparent part of our institutional financial infrastructure?
Congressman, you obviously feel strongly about this. I have a motto in life: no data, no opinion. But I will get back to you with an opinion.
I very much appreciate that. This has been one of the tougher subject matters that we've discussed on the committee because I believe that this country for a long time has been stuck in the analog era and we are now in the digital age. And, this framework altogether just provides guidelines and stability for the cryptocurrency network within our country. And I appreciate, you saying you'll work with us, but I truly believe now is the right time for this with President Trump and the Federal Crypto Reserve and wanting, the United States to be the crypto capital. My concern is that if people like you and I and others right now, who don't have a good understanding aren't the ones really steering this, to its, final destination, then we may never get there and it may get screwed up in a different way. But I truly appreciate you being here, working with Rep. Horsford and myself, and I yield back.
Thank you. Gentleman yields. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Vegas, Mr. Horsford.
Thank you to the chairman and to the ranking member, and I look forward to working with Congressman Miller and the other members of the Committee on the Parity Act, which is a true bipartisan bill. Before I begin, though, I want to thank Chairman Smith for his commitment to working with me also on the Full House Act. Prior to the Senate-passed bill, gaming patrons could deduct 100% of their gambling losses. They were taxed on what they actually earned, nothing more, nothing less. The Senate changed that. This provision was included without meaningful debate and creates a fundamentally unfair outcome for taxpayers who participate in legal gaming activities. Under the new provision, patrons can deduct only 90% of their losses. That means someone who breaks even or even loses money overall could still face a federal tax bill. So, Mr. Secretary, will you work with Chairman Smith and me to fix this issue and to protect gaming jobs and tourism-dependent economies like Nevada?
We'd be glad to, sir.
Thank you. Now, you, Mr. Secretary, you talked a lot about permanency throughout today's hearing. For the tip worker, for the warehouse worker, for the teacher, the nurse, and for the small business owners in Nevada, they don't need a temporary tax gimmick. They need permanently lower cost and permanently higher take-home pay. Yet when Republicans wrote their bill, they made a choice that the tax cuts for billionaires and large corporations would be made permanent while making the tax relief for working people temporary. To me, and to the workers, that tells them exactly who they were thinking about when they wrote it. That's why I have introduced the Tips Improvement Act as well as the Overtime for All Workers Act, because I believe workers who earn tips or who work overtime should receive permanent tax relief, not temporary. If Republicans are serious about helping working families, they should join me in making tax relief for workers permanent, just like they did for billionaires. Now, Mr. Secretary, I want to discuss tariffs, which are hidden taxes that American consumers pay. including businesses. The Supreme Court ruled that this administration's broad tariff policy was unlawful. But American families already paid the price. Small businesses paid it through higher costs, consumers paid it through hidden higher prices, and according to the Yale Budget Lab, the average household paid roughly $1,800 more because of these tariffs. So at a time when you talk about giving relief to workers, temporary relief, on the other hand, they are feeling the effects of higher prices. So let me ask you directly, do Americans deserve refunds for money collected through tariffs that the Supreme Court ruled illegal? Yes or no?
Congressman, the American people had the money. It was in the U.S. Treasury, and it didn't take it away.
Do you agree that they deserve the money back that the Supreme Court ruled is illegal? Yes or no?
It's not a yes or no question, because every Democratic Attorney General applied.
The Supreme Court ruled that they were illegal, Mr. Secretary.
I know, and they applied to them to go back to the companies.
Do the companies deserve the money back? So do they deserve their money back?
That is a issue for Customs and Border Patrol.
No. Again, Mr. Secretary, while the Homeland Security Act of 2002 may have transferred a number of custom functions from Treasury to DHS, Treasury retains oversight over trade policy and the protection of revenue functions. Treasury can delegate those functions, but it cannot delegate that statutory authority. Just last week, the Justice Department appealed a court order that would have accelerated refunds to importers and to businesses. Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent to submit for the record the May 29th article, U.S. to appeal judge's order for broad refund of Trump tariffs.
Without objection.
Thank you. Secretary Bessent, yes or no? Did you participate in discussions about appealing efforts to speed up tariff refunds?
No.
As if it almost
Treasury helps shape major fiscal policy, returning roughly $165 billion to businesses and consumers is a major fiscal decision. So why wasn't the Treasury involved?
Again, we act as the payment agent. Your bank does not tell you which bills to pay. You tell your bank which.
Well, from the public's perspective, taxpayers' perspective, the administration is fighting harder to keep their money than to return it. That's why I've introduced the Relief Act, to give automatic refunds within 90 days to the people who paid the tariffs. And that once the refunds are made, that the benefit goes to the consumers that ultimately paid the price in higher costs. The Relief Act creates an automatic refund process, something that this administration has not been working to accomplish, and this would actually address the economic uncertainty that has been caused by these across-the-board tariffs. Not strategic, not in the best interest of American consumers, and it's time that we give the money back to the people who paid it. With that, I yield.
And many foreign companies, I think we're going to see that the payers of record, many of them are overseas entities. So,
well, Mr. Secretary, families in America don't experience the economy through GDP reports and stock market indexes. They experience it through rent and groceries. They experience utility bills because they're paying. That's exactly right. What does it have to do? It has to do with the average family not being able to meet their monthly budget obligations because this administration is so aloof to the reality that the majority of Americans are facing.
Mr. Bean.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, Ways and Means. Good afternoon, Mr. Secretary. Welcome back to Ways and Means. 4 hours ago is when this hearing started. But a year ago, we were in the middle of debate of the One Big Beautiful Bill. You, Chairman Smith, this president, were all architects. You made some big, bold predictions. Pass this bill, Congress, and we will see a reverse of manufacturing jobs closing or fleeing the country. You made a big, bold statement that you'll put more money in Americans' pockets than ever before should we pass this bill. We passed the bill, and Mr. Secretary, everything you said is coming true. How about that? There's more money in Americans' pockets. The 4.5 million manufacturing jobs that we've lost since the year 2000 are coming back. And from me speaking across Northeast Florida, people are excited, business owners are excited and making that happen. A year ago also, we were doing something else. We were debating fraud, waste, and abuse. You would think that would unite this committee, but you can see today we disagreed on so many things. That's something that should unite us. I want to brag on something that you're doing in Treasury Department. You're a core pillar of President Trump's anti-fraud task force. Your subcommittees and your initiatives of the Office of Terrorism and Financial Intelligence, FinCEN, and the Office of Payment Integrity are leading the way of supplying that task force. Let's fight fraud once and for all. Something else you're doing. A year ago we talked about it, of how fast we pay. The United States pays our bills very fast, sometimes too quickly, because we pay people who shouldn't get paid. Scammers don't have to rob banks anymore. They can just bill the United States. We pay them, and then this pay and chase, we figure it out. So you and I, you know this, you and I and your team have created a bill to codify what you're doing now, which is to verify, to use the data and statistics to making sure it's a legit bill, that it hasn't been paid by anybody else. So hats off to you. What else can we do, Mr. Secretary, to assist you? Maybe it's just get out of the way to assist you in fighting fraud.
You are exactly right. So once money goes out the door, that anything other than a partial recovery is unlikely. I was out in Minneapolis and saw what was going on there. And I think in terms of the U.S. is a high-trust society, and in terms of maintaining the trust that American citizens or that we have in each other and our visitors, it's important to prosecute, but the recoveries are going to be very small.
It's almost they're bad guys. They hide and chase those. Your efforts. Don't give up on our bill that's in Mr. Comer's committee. I'm still lobbying it. You weighing in would be a big deal. You're already doing it, but we want to codify it. It's the best practice of paying our bills. Scammers also are targeting older folks and Americans. They're these scam calls, spam and scam calls. I get 8 to 10 a day. Now the FTC, it's already against the law. We put your number on the do not call list. I want to plant a seed with you. The FTC is responsible for it. It's against the law. But what if they don't have the teeth or muscle that Treasury has? I want to plant the seed with you. What do you think about the idea of Treasury getting involved and chasing and kicking out these scammers that are calling us? What do you think, Mr. Secretary?
We are Congressman. FinCEN is actively involved, and many of these come from overseas.
Right, and you've got the tools to go after them.
So we've worked very well with the FBI in Southeast Asia to break up these scammer cities.
Amen.
And a lot of it comes out of huge amount out of North Korea, and unfortunately, many of our seniors, I think 1 out of every 3 seniors has been the subject of a financial scam that averages about $300.
There's a special place in the afterlife for anybody that rips off an older American or anybody old. I hate that. Mr. Secretary, we still have to solve health care. That's something that maybe we do agree on both sides of the aisle, so we have to do better. What if Americans took charge of their own health care by having the money to do so? I've got a bill, HSAs for all, health savings account where people, just like their retirement, they can put money aside for health expenses to make that happen. Mr. Secretary, is that bill, is that a good idea or a great idea, the Bean bill of health savings accounts for all?
I think it's a great name and a great bill.
That's the right answer, Mr. Secretary.
And when you give people agency, they can tailor it to their own needs. And what we are seeing with the employer credits, where employers can give credits, we're seeing a big uptake in that.
Love it, love it. Mr. Secretary, you could be doing anything. Thank you for your service to your country. We appreciate you. All the best. Mr. Chairman, I yield back. Thank you, Mr. Moran.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, Secretary Besson. Thanks for being here today. I know it's a long day. Thank you for your service to our country as well. Doing a fabulous job, by the way. We appreciate your willingness to appear before the committee and provide updates on the important work being done at the U.S. Treasury Department. I'd like to build on some of the successes my Republican colleagues have already highlighted by focusing on 2 direct results from the Working Families Tax Cuts. both substantially improving Americans' lives and financial futures. First, I want to discuss the Opportunity Zone program. You mentioned this in earlier testimony, specifically the new rural Opportunity Zone provisions. Last year, Ways and Means Republicans strengthened and modernized the program to ensure that investment reaches some of the most economically distressed communities in America. As someone who represents a large rural district in East Texas, I've seen firsthand the challenges that many communities face when it comes to attracting capital, creating jobs, and expanding economic opportunity. Too often, rural communities are overlooked despite their tremendous potential. Here's my question: as we move closer to the nomination process, can you walk us through what comes next after census tracts are nominated by the states?
I can't do that, sir. I'm happy to have the team get back to yours. We are working with red state and blue state governors, and we're encouraging them to get ahead of it. I had a call, I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, with the father of Opportunity Zones, my hometown senator, Senator Tim Scott, and we were talking about, he's a city guy, I'm a country guy in South Carolina, and we were talking, I was telling him what a great move this is for the rural opportunity zones and how it's going to be transformational.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's what we see in these provisions as well, that it gives certainty and long-lasting opportunity for economic growth in areas in America where traditionally businesses or investors are looking and saying, you know, I'm not quite sure if I can make that investment there, but this is the incentive that's needed for that. Question number 2 involves the no taxes on overtime provision. I want to turn to this provision because I was proud to help champion this policy because it recognizes a simple principle. Americans who work harder and put in extra hours should be able to keep more of what they earn. We've now learned that more than 29 million filers have claimed the deduction this year, and notably 96% of those taxpayers earn less than $200,000 annually. Here's my question, Mr. Secretary. Do these results demonstrate that this law is delivering meaningful tax relief to working Americans, men and women who are keeping our economy moving every day, and that the benefits are reaching middle-class families rather than the wealthy, as Democrats have falsely claimed?
Congressman, I tell you, someone asked me earlier, why do you do this job? And the highlight is going out and meeting with our hardworking Americans, being out with the people, and whether I'm at a barbecue place outside of Dallas, which I enjoyed. I was in an Italian restaurant in Simi Valley near the Reagan Museum this weekend. And all I hear from both the employees and the employers is what a home run this has been. And you know, I tell you, I told the story earlier. Tax day, April 15th, I was with the president in Las Vegas. He had a big rally, and he asked for the room to, he went through each one of the provisions, and we're in the tip capital of the world in Las Vegas, but it was the no tax on overtime, got the roar of approval over no tax on tips.
Yeah, I'm finding the same thing as I go through my district. That's the #1 provision that people are citing to me.
It's the American way. If you want to work harder, you should get to keep more of your money. And I think one of the congressmen said, well, we've got to let in these workers. We've got to have. What if Americans want to work more and keep more of their money?
That's right. I think that's a concept we need to continue to propagate and find policies that support letting hard-working Americans keep more of their money. We forget sometimes in D.C., we shouldn't forget this, that it's their money, it's not ours. And I know you know that. I think you're doing, as I mentioned earlier, a great job. We really appreciate it. I want to mention your successful negotiation of the side-by-side agreement that's helping to place the United States in a much stronger and more competitive position in the global tax landscape, digging us out of the Biden tax surrender effectively and really putting us back on the footing we need to get on. So thank you for that work. I know you got a great team behind you as well. Keep up the hard work and let us know what we can do. Thank you. I yield back.
Thank you, Congressman.
Mr. Snyder.
Thank you, and Mr. Secretary, thank you for your patience staying here. I actually want to give you a chance to correct the record on something you said. You earlier commented somewhat offhandedly that the conflict with Iran had ended. Do you truly believe that we are no longer in conflict with Iran and that they are no longer a threat to Israel or allies in the Gulf, that their nuclear program has been destroyed, that they no longer have a ballistic missile program and drone program threatening its neighbors in the region, and that they will no longer sponsor terrorism in the region and around the world?
So are you saying you're in agreement with the president's decision to the...
You said the conflict was over. I'm asking, do you believe the conflict's over and everything's copacetic?
is on pause.
So everything's good with Iran now?
No, don't be absurd.
Well, I'm asking you to
Don't be absurd. That as the president said yesterday, unless an American life is lost, he does not believe that he will have to restart the kinetic acid.
Okay, so you're, I'm reclaiming my time, and I'm just trying to help you clear the record. I'm reclaiming my time, Mr. Secretary. Can you promise, because this is your jurisdiction, that you and the Trump administration are not considering lifting sanctions on Iran as a concession towards opening the Straits of Hormuz?
We've made it clear that the Straits of Hormuz, the blockade, is the only thing that will be lifted to reopen the Straits.
So no sanctions relief whatsoever?
I'm not part of the negotiating team, but I am told by the negotiating team, and I strongly believe that the blockade will be lifted.
Okay, and I'm going to just reclaim because there's a lot of things I want to cover. My hope is you'll keep Congress informed of any such considerations if they do come up. Also in your opening remarks, Mr. Secretary, you said Americans have more money in their pockets. That's not what I'm hearing from my constituents. Are you saying the overall cost of living is lower today than it was 16 months ago when you came into office? Because what I'm hearing from my constituents is that the cost of groceries are up. For example, beef, coffee, tomatoes are at record or near record highs. The cost of housing is up, and for too many of the Americans, buying a home is out of reach. I'll let you answer. Healthcare premiums continue to rise, and millions of Americans have either already lost or expect to lose their health insurance altogether because of H.R. 1, the bill you so joyously celebrate. Energy costs, gas for our cars, electricity for our homes are all rising through the roof. And family care, child care, and elder care is prohibitively costly. Are you saying the cost of living is lower today than it was a year ago?
I am saying that we are much closer to the Fed's target rate of 2% on core inflation than we were when President Trump came into office. We are at 2.8%, and you can list off the most expensive groceries that have had the biggest price increases.
I think you're just out of touch with what American families are facing. No. As my colleague noted, I'm reclaiming my time. Tariffs are a tax on American families. This is my time, Mr. Secretary. This is my time. I will speak in the higher grocery prices are taxes on American families. Higher gas and electricity prices are
Democrats should know. No wonder so many people are leaving Illinois. Why don't you come see me in South Carolina?
They're not leaving. They're coming along. Just a simple question, Mr.
You're saying Illinois doesn't have an outbound migration?
All right, let me take it to a different topic, and I know you don't want to address it, but my constituents are outraged and want me to talk to you about the absurd illegal self-dealing settlement between President Trump and his family with the Justice Department and the IRS over which you have jurisdiction. The administration apparently believes that there should be two systems of justice, two sets of laws, one for the president, his family, and his rich friends like you, and one for the rest of us. Nothing demonstrates this more than the so-called settlement with the slush fund for insurrectionists and tax immunity for the president and his family. Mr. Secretary, simple question. Do you believe that there should be only one legal system in this country and that no one, even the president, should be above the law?
I believe no one is above the law, but you all have put the president beneath the law, and you have weaponized the system against him, whether it is the leak of his taxpayer records.
His taxes should never be leaked. No taxpayer's information should be leaked. I agree with you on that. But no, let me ask you a separate question.
Would you like to apologize to the president right now on behalf of his...
I have nothing to apologize to this president for. His taxes should not have been leaked, but it was leaked by a contractor. And you keep trying to dissemble here and avoid the questions. I believe that all Americans should pay the taxes they owe and not emit a penny more.
100%.
Yes or no? All right. So do you think it applies to the President of the United States, irrespective of whether the President is a Democrat or a Republican?
Yes.
Okay. So we agree on this, and we should have a tax system that is fair, and it should be applied fairly to all people. But I can tell you that my constituents are outraged by the agreement the president made with himself and his own Justice Department that excluded him from ever having an audit over his taxes. No one should be targeted. No one should be targeted by the administration. Whoever is in the White House, no one should be targeted by the administration. Whoever's in the White House, their taxes should be paid, and they should be confident that that information will be kept confidential with the IRS and not used to target them, their families, or their business.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more.
Mr. Yakum.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding this hearing today, and Secretary of the Senate, it's great to see you again. Thanks for being here.
Good to see you, Congressman.
There's been a lot of talk about the cost of groceries lately here in this committee room. A lot of numbers thrown around, but I think it's worth putting eyes on the Democrats' inflation. I had my staff whip up this chart behind me, and it shows the CPI numbers from what economists call, quote, food at home. But most Americans just simply call it groceries. These are the cumulative inflation numbers for the first 16 months of a presidential term, of every presidential term, since 1993. Mr. Secretary, the title most likely gives it away, but I'd like you to just play a little game with me here. Can you guess which one of these lines represents the Biden administration?
Oh, probably the one that's red for torching the American people.
That would be correct. Well done, Mr. Secretary. It is the red one. 16 months into the Biden administration, or as we now call it, Bidenomics, grocery prices were up almost 12%. That far outpaced anything that any American had seen in recent history. And you can clearly see from the chart that red line is as detached as the Democrats' rhetoric is from reality today on this particular topic. So thank you for playing along here today. Switching gears, let's talk about tax priorities.
And Congressman, I would note that the inconvenient truth for this side of the room, food at home, since President Trump came into office, is up 2.5%. That is the half of what it averaged over 4 years of the Biden administration.
That's right, and that stands in stark contrast of the 12% that you saw on the chart here. So thank you for pointing that out. A 2019 New York Times story said that most taxpayers got a tax cut under the first Trump tax cuts. But most Americans didn't believe it because, quote, a sustained and misleading effort by liberal opponents of the law to brand it as a middle-class tax increase. Here we are, a few years later, and Republicans cut taxes again for working families and working Americans. But yet again, my Democrat colleagues are rolling out the same tired playbook of bad faith attacks and misinformation. The working families tax cuts cut taxes for working families. It's just that simple. I can't tell you, Mr. Secretary, how many people have come up to me, whether it's at church or in the grocery store or just anywhere around the community, and they've said, hey, thank you, because my tax refund that I got was much bigger than what I expected. It's that the working families tax cuts is just simply putting real money back in the pockets of working families.
Congressman, I can tell you when the 2017 tax bill was passed, I was one of the people who now fled New York, but I lived in Manhattan. My taxes went up. So for many upper-end people in high-tax states, taxes actually went up.
That's right. And let's talk about some of the actual numbers and move beyond what some of the Democrats' rhetoric is today. Mr. Secretary, you recently said that 90% of filers claiming no tax on tips made less than $100,000. They had an average deduction of $7,000. 75% of filers claiming no tax on overtime made less than $100,000 with an average deduction of $3,100. And 68% of seniors claiming the enhanced deduction had incomes under $100,000 with an average deduction of $7,500. Does that sound directionally correct and roughly right to you?
That sounds pretty precise, Congressman.
And Mr. Secretary, are you aware of any millionaires or billionaires that claim no tax on tips or no tax on overtime or the enhanced senior deduction?
No, sir.
No billionaires claiming any of this stuff?
This is the ultimate working family. These are the ultimate working family signature tax cuts put through by this side of the room and President Trump.
Thank you for clearing that up. Let's now consider what happened when Democrats had the pen and when they were able to craft their own tax law. A 2024 analysis of households claiming the green giveaways in Democrats' Inflation Reduction Act found that only 47% made less than $100,000. In fact, over a quarter of the households who took those deductions made over $200,000. And households making over $1 million got nearly 100 million taxpayer dollars worth of Democrats' green giveaways. Even Mother Jones had to admit that when it comes to Democrats' green giveaways, quote, working class Americans are missing out. But if you think about it, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Mr. Secretary, do you think that a family making less than $100,000 cares more about no tax on tips or putting solar panels on their roof?
I think there are no tax on tips or the subsidy for a high-priced EV.
And do you think that they would care more about no tax on overtime or solar panels on the roof?
Everyone I've spoken to loves no tax on overtime, sir.
So while the Democrats gave millions to millionaires, and while the Republican working families tax cuts simply cut taxes for working families, is that correct? 100%. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Mr. Chairman, I yield back. Thank you, Mr. Watson.
There's a truth we drift away.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Secretary, for sticking it out for over 4 hours here today. We appreciate your time and we appreciate your service to the nation. Good to see you, sir. So earlier today, Mr. Kelly from Pennsylvania was quoting from Charles Dickens. He said, "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times." Did you happen to know what the name of that book was that came from?
Tale of Two Cities.
Tale of Two Cities, which is very appropriate for I think we see happening at this hearing here today.
We might say Manhattan down.
I wouldn't say that, but okay. So let's think about it. You said earlier today, and I'm sure you stick by this, the economy is very strong.
It is.
Okay, so you say it's very strong, but we've heard consistently throughout the course of this day and in reports regularly that over 70% of Americans think the economy is bad and getting worse. Are you familiar with that polling?
I am.
So that would seem to be a tale of two cities. You saying the economy is very strong, and the people of the United States of America saying the economy is bad and getting worse. Now, the Biden administration, which we've heard a lot from you guys today, I think made a similar mistake to what your administration is making, because the stock market was booming under the Biden administration. There was job creation under the Biden administration. Unemployment was low under the Biden administration. And the stock market is booming under this administration, that's true. And unemployment remains relatively low, and there is some, but much reduced job creation. Making a mistake, I think, to not listen to what the American people are saying, which is that they're very unhappy with the economy, which is the way it's affecting them. So have you heard the expression, the K economy, or the K recovery?
Yes, sir, but I think we're probably moving to a C economy. We're the top.
Okay, but I want to talk about the K economy for a second. We get to see a little later, okay? Okay, so the K economy has one group of people going up and another group of people going down. It's a K economy. So in the K economy, the top group sees a booming stock market. But as you mentioned earlier, one reason you want to do what you call Trump accounts is because 93% of the stock holdings in America are held by the top 10%. But the lower income Americans, 50% of Americans, have only 1% of the stock holdings. So while the stock market may be booming, for much of the people in the United States of America, they have booming gas prices and booming grocery prices. In the K economy, we have your friends and some of friends of the people here that talk about buying second homes. But in the other part of the K economy that's going downwards, people can't afford to buy a home. Young people especially are foreclosed from being able to buy a home in this K economy. In the K economy, you have a group of people that are, their friends are talking about the great vacations they're going on. They're going to these exotic places. They're doing these interesting things. In the other part of the K economy, people have a hard time paying their bills. So there's these tale of two cities that's taking place in the K economy here in the United States of America right now. Now, Mr. Secretary, you attended the president's inauguration, were you?
We did.
Yes, and at his inauguration, he said, we're going to rapidly reduce prices. That was one of the quotes the president made during his inauguration. He made many quotes like that during his campaign as well. Do you think that the prices in the United States of America have been rapidly reduced?
I think before the Iran conflict began, that the rate of change for inflation, both headline and core, have come down substantially.
Well, people don't think that prices have been rapidly reduced. So you do admit, though, that the war has caused prices to go up for gasoline, for example. 100%. And you also agree, well, they didn't go up 100%, they only went up 50%.
No,
you agree with me 100%. Okay, that's better.
I'm glad to see somebody on the side.
Okay, so the second thing is that the tariffs, you think tariffs have caused prices to go up? You don't think prices have gone up significantly because of, you just reduced tariffs the other day on farm equipment because you wanted to reduce prices on farm equipment because you thought it caused prices to go up.
Again, overall, level, what we saw last year was goods inflation was down.
So I would argue that tariffs have caused prices to go up, and a lot of economists and groups such as the Yale Budget Lab, which you used to teach at Yale, didn't you? Used to teach it?
The Yale Budget Lab was a bunch of Biden-era second stringers.
Okay, well, you taught at Yale, I understand. You taught 3 classes, the 20th Century Financial Booms and Busts, Hedge Funds, and a seminar on financial panic in 2009. So I don't know why you're not knocking Yale. You used to teach at Yale. You went to Yale. Didn't you go to Yale?
That's why I get to knock Yale.
Okay, so tariffs have caused prices to go up. Wars caused prices to go up. Do you think the deficits that were created by the Big Beautiful Bill are causing interest rates to stay artificially high?
No, but what I can tell you is that, let's cite MIT. MIT said that 50%, actually, let's be precise, like they are 44% of the 21.5% inflation we saw during the Biden years came from the Biden deficit.
No, but I'm asking you, do you think the deficits that were created by the Big Beautiful Bill are causing interest rates to stay artificially high? Yes or no? That's simple. I'm out of time. Come on.
Now, Congressman, we had a fiscal contraction last year, okay. So the deficit went down. So I'm just
going to argue with you, Mr. Secretary. I'm just going to argue, Mr. Secretary, that prices are up, gas prices are up, grocery prices are up, energy prices are up, healthcare prices are up, interest rates are high, all specifically related to the policies of this administration. Mr. Secretary, thank you again for your service. I really appreciate it.
Good to see you, Congressman. I want to invite you to South Carolina to see all your former constituents.
Mr. Secretary, being a cattle farmer, I would say that the reason why the beef prices are high is the result of a very reduced herd. We don't have as many cattle today as what we had decades ago. I know everyone keeps talking about beef prices around here, but it's a simple fact that we've had droughts and people had to sell their herd to be slaughtered, and so they no longer have the reproduction status quo, and that is why the beef prices are high, regardless of what anyone wants to say. With that, Mr. Secretary, thank you for being here with us today. Thank you for the over 4 hours. Please be advised that members have 2 weeks to submit written questions to be answered later in writing. Those questions and your answers will be made part of the formal hearing record. With that, the committee stands adjourned.
Jack creaks under shift and weight. One getting bold, it's getting late. Glass half full, no need to rush. Room is small, the air is hush.
We can shift to another input, another synthetic route, or another synthetic opiate. Congress, therefore, needs adaptive enforcement, not static checklists. A senior State Department official has publicly stated that the United States has no evidence Beijing deliberately directs illicit drug shipments into the United States. That distinction matters, but the problem is not proven central direction. It is a serious supply chain governance failure in China. China has not consistently policed the illicit edges of its chemical, online, logistics, and financial systems. The question then is how the United States can turn that responsibility into measurable Chinese measures. So the Biden administration and the Trump administration use different tools, but not on separate tracks. Biden reviewed the counter-narcotic channel after San Francisco, giving Washington a way to press Beijing on chemicals and enforcement, but that channel had a limited time to prove durable results. Trump added leverage through tariffs and trade bargaining, which elevated urgency and may have accelerated visible Chinese steps. But pressure alone cannot identify suppliers, brokers, shippers, or money launderers. The lesson is that channels and the leverage must work together. Diplomacy must produce enforcement, and the pressure must be tied to implementation. My written testimony provided 8 recommendations, but for the time available, I'll focus on 3 congressional levers: oversight, multilateral enforcement, and
like things our edges blur. Still we sit still unsure. I know goodbye placed on the air. just a present sitting there. Baseline fades, note by note, brushed snare like a distant quote. What remains soft and spare is the weight of what we said. Don't resolve, let it stay. In between the lines we play, every breath, every glance holds the chest.
Neon bleeds into the table edge, like it forgot where it began. Your shadow arrives first, then changes his mind. A glass sweats out a quiet confession no one asked to hear. I follow the line of your silence until it disappears. Something shifts in the low brass air, half a word just hanging there. We don't move but we get close to a line we never cross. We keep a neon stained promise. Say nothing, stay honest. Hold it in, don't confess. We keep a neon stained Smoke curls like it knows your name, then lets it go halfway through. Your eyes almost land on mine, but choose the space beside it. A chord slips, then corrects itself. Too late to be clean. Everything here feels rehearsed, but nothing repeats. There's a pull we don't define, out the step but still in time. Every second leans too far, then resets to where we are. We keep a neon stained promise. Say nothing, stay honest. Hold it in, don't confess. We keep a neon stained promise. Morning presses on the window, but doesn't enter light. Pauses like it's waiting for permission we won't give. I could break the shape of this, make it real, but it would lose whatever kept it here. Almost said it once or twice, felt it flicker cold as ice. Let it fade before it shows. That's the way this moment goes. We keep a neon stained promise. Say nothing, stay honest. Hold it in, don't confess. We keep a neon stained promise. diner hum, kick drum tapping quiet patience, bass line curling under the counter, coffee cups lying near the window, neon glow across the chrome stools, late talk drifting from the corner, your coat resting on the red booth, night sits down beside the groove. Hear that rhythm in the cup, bass keep rolling smooth and rough, every chord wakes the room up, now the band begins to puff, spin that diner midnight beat, let the slow groove fill the street, warm drums tapping steady feet, hold that rhythm nice and neat. Waitress sliding down the aisle, drum a brush in soft patterns, roads drop chords like small sparks, bass still pacing through the floor, your laugh bouncing off the jukebox, shoes drag slow beside the booth, man locks deep inside the pocket, room begins to rock and lean, hear that hi-hat whisper low, bass still walking row by row, every chord begins to glow, now the groove begins to grow, turn that diner rhythm slow, let the deep groove steal the show, late night moving soft and low, stay where mellow backbeats flow, street light pouring through the glass, drummer taps a lazy fill, bass still strolling through the pocket, clapping it answers sharp and quick, your shadow leaning on the booth, feet mark time against the tile, hope and breathe in steady motion, night keeps riding on the groove. Hear that rhythm hum again, bass still walking through the lane, every beat cuts off what plain begins to sway again. Dim bulb hanging near the rail, dealer halfway through a tale, bartender stacks the empty glass, watching quiet minutes pass, bass keeps pacing slow and dry, underneath the tired sign, nobody asking where to go, they just let the hour flow, trumpet lifts a broken phrase, floating in the drifting haze, even laughter fades away when the horn begins to sway. You lean softly on the bar, looking like you've traveled far. Trumpet bending through the room, turning silence into bloom. Waitress counting folded bills, two men trading quiet thrills, drummer dragging brush on skin, letting restless tension in, muted horn climbs slow and thin, like it knows where you have been, bass still circling in worn out grain, carrying a trace of pain, someone taps the wood inside, keeping pace the band can't hide, every table leans to hear what the horn will leave us here. You step closer to the stage, eyes half lost inside the haze, trumpets sliding low and wide like a secret you can't hide. Swings open to the street,
Cold wind brushing tired feet, cup of drifting through the light, leaving softly to the night, then still tracing one thin tone, like the room is all its own. Nobody deciding when the slow hour ends again. Every shadow bends a bit when the drummer settles in. Even silence starts to breathe under what the horns release. You look up toward the band like you almost understand. Trumpet fading in the air, leaving something hanging but not for me. It holds a shape I cannot see. A shadow tilts against the wall, then starts to fall. A passing glance misreads my face, like I've been moved without a trace. I stand where something used to fit, but doesn't sit. Every thought arrives too late, misses rhythm, shifts its weight. Something leans but never lands, out of hand. Say it once, then let it break. Don't repeat what we can't remake. Hold it there, half a line, leave the rest between the time. A record skips across the groove. It almost finds the way to move, but circles back before it stays. In subtle ways, your voice appears in fragments now. A syllable I can't allow to fully form or settle in. It wears too thin. Every step avoids the ground, like it's scared of making sound. Something drifts without a guide, then divides it once, then let it break. Don't repeat what we can't remake. Hold it there, half a line, leave the rest between the time. The air repeats a borrowed tone. It doesn't feel like it's my own. I let it pass without a claim or any name. A distant shape begins to close around the parts nobody knows. I stay within the offset view of me and you, and nothing fits the way it did. Every truth stays slightly hid. Something almost comes to light, then takes flight. Say it once, let it break. Don't repeat what we can't remake. Hold it there, half a line, leave them less between your time. slow across the air, like it almost isn't there. Every piece of quiet sand, of a warmth that slipped in time. It doesn't fall the way it should, just hovers where it understood. Something ended without sound, leaving nothing solid down. Nothing breaks, it only thins. Every loss just folds within, in the space beneath the skin. There's a trace we never show. Ash floats like a thought between us, never landing, never clear. Every moment tries to mean us, then dissolves before it's me. Your reflection fades in glass, like it's learning how to pass. Every line begins to blur into something less than sure. Even silence shifts its tone when it knows it's not alone in the fragile in-between of what's felt and what is seen. Every pause becomes a fracture, every word a quiet capture in the soft and subtle rapture. There's a truth we never keep. Ash floats like a thought between us, never landing, never pleased. Every moment tries to mean us and dissolves before it's needed. Doesn't stay on the shapes we let decay. All the warmth that once was known turns to something overthrown. I could reach, but it would fade like a mark that won't be made. So I let it drift and stay in a form that won't obey. Nothing ends, it only scatters. Every truth becomes what matters in the quiet that it gathers. There's a light we never cross. Ash floats like a thought between us, never landing, never clear. Every moment tries to mean us, then dissolves before it's near. Light spill on the counter edge, glass ring fading where it stood. You lean slightly to the left, like adjusting something small. No one moved across the room, just a shift in how it felt, like a sound that didn't form. Still it stayed around itself. Nothing said, nothing done, still it settled into one. In the pause, in the space, something held without a trace. No clear line, no release, just a moment left to be. In the way it stayed right there without asking to be named. Napkin folded twice too sharp, placed just off the center line. You adjusted it again, then you left it where it leaned. There's a pattern in the still, in the way things almost shift. Every second that it moves, still it carries something with. Nothing said, nothing done, still it settled into one. In the pause, in the space, something held without a trace. No clear line, no release, just a moment left to be. In the way it stayed right there without asking to be named. Darling cut across the floor, thin and quiet, almost gone. You just watched it for a while, like it wasn't moving on. If it changed too small. Still it shifted something else. Not enough to call it out. Still it stayed without a doubt. Nothing said, nothing done, still it settled into one. In the pause, in the space, something held without a trace. No key line, no release, just a moment left to be. In the way it stayed right there without asking to be named. Found a drawer full of old pictures, faded smiles in crooked frames, summer jackets, open highways, half-forgotten names. Your old haircut in the sunlight, laughing somewhere out of view. Every snapshot keeps a second I once spent with you. Dusty corners hold the hours we never tried to save. Funny how the smallest moments are the ones that stay. Time just walks through open doorways, leaves a whisper on the wall. Years go dancing past the window like they never slowed at all. There's a beach from long ago now, wind pushing through your hair, cheap motel and plastic keychains scattered Your handwriting on a postcard from a town I can't recall. Funny how the little stories still remember home. Days were lighter than we noticed, running wild and running free. Now they sit inside these pictures, waiting quietly. Time just walks through open doorways, leaves a whisper on the wall. Years go piercing past the window, like they never slowed at all. I slide the drawer a little closer, let the quiet fill the room. Evening leaning through the curtains, soft as a late afternoon. Somewhere out there roads keep turning, people laughing, people roam. But these little frozen moments still feel close to home. Funny how a simple picture can return a passing day. All the miles and all the seasons never washed away. Time just walks through open doorways, leaves a whisper on the wall. Years go dancing past the window, like they never spoke at all. You left the chair a little turned, like the room still thought you'd return. The glass you held kept catching light, as if it knew how to hold the night. I stayed longer than I should, just to stand where you once stood. There was nothing left to say, but it didn't fade away. I let the silence take its time. It said more than any line. In the space you left behind, something settled in my mind. You felt close without a touch, like something that was almost us. And I stayed inside that place where your absence had a shape. No goodbye, no clear end, just a feeling I can't spend. A slow trumpet passed the air, like it noticed you weren't there. Even time began to lean into something in between. I disappears. I just listen when it nears. There are moments that remain without asking to be named. I don't need to understand every move, every hand. There's a truth they'll never know without needing more to know. You felt close without a touch, like something that was almost us. And I stayed inside that place where your absence had a shade. No goodbye, no clear hand, just a feeling I can't spend. Morning came, but not for me. It just brushed a memory. Still that chair remains the same, holding space without your name. Oh, I don't move it, I just know some things stay by staying so. Not everything has to leave. Some just long to softly be. If it fades this way, with nothing left to say. There's a quiet I can keep that runs just under sleep. You felt close without a touch, like something that was almost us. And I stayed inside that place where your absence had a shame. No goodbye, no gleam, just a feeling I can't stand. The drawer half open keeps your trace in objects time cannot replace. A photograph without a year still holds you here. The ceiling cracks begin to map a life that never made it back. I run my hand across the grain, it stays the same. Every thought begins to stall before it reaches any wall. Something slips between the lines, black lines. I don't call your name out loud, it wouldn't settle in this crowd. Every sound would fall apart before the start. I don't ask where you have gone. The question drifts and carries on like a page without a thread left unread. The ticking sound without a source moves moves in circles off its course. The mirror fails to keep me still against my will. Your outline flickers in between what might have been and what I've seen, but never holds enough to stay. It fades away. Every step begins to blur into something I infer. Something distant folds inside and hides. I don't call your name out loud. You wouldn't settle in this crowd. No. Every sound would fall apart. Oh, before the start. I don't ask where you have gone. The question drifts and carries on like a page without a thread left unread. The room collects what isn't there, and folded light and borrowed air. I sit with all that bit it ain't. Oh, didn't mend. That instant echo bends the space, but never shows its origin place. I let it pass without a claim of any name. Nothing breaks, it only bends. Underneath where time begins, something lingers out of view. But true, I don't call your name out loud. You wouldn't settle in this crowd. Every sound would fall apart before the start. I don't ask where you have gone. The question drifts and carries on like a page without thread left unread. Baseline flickers through the no light like a pulse beneath the glass. Trumpet draws a trembling outline of a moment that won't pass. Your figure lingers in refraction, spread across a liquid frame, and every angle shifts its meaning before it settles into name. Your breath becomes a silver fracture through a chord that bends in hue. Every second leaves an imprint that dissolves before it's true. We were caught in a vitreous after image where the light forgot its origin. Every glance left a quiet lineage of a world just out of reach. Your voice arrives in soft distortions, like a trace that won't align. Every word becomes a surface that keeps slipping out of time. Piano stains the air with fragments, breaking space into degrees, and every emotion you abandon reappears in subtle keys. Nothing holds a steady contour, still it glows beneath the skin. Every echo leaves a shimmer that begins where I have been. Still we stayed in that itchiest after image, where the dark turned almost radiant. Every touch left a faint vestige of a dream that never ends. Like a surface losing weight, you dissolve into the trumpet, but your trace won't dissipate. One last chord fractures the silence into lines of quiet white, and all the things we never held keep returning through the light. Time unfolds in glowing layers without edge or origin. We stand inside its quiet imprint, where it ends and where it's been. Vitreous after image, where your trace stays indefinite. Every silence holds the image in a glow I can't forget. You said like the might had chosen you, not loud, just quietly in view. The glass in your hand caught fading gold, like it knew what it shouldn't hold. I watched how you barely moved at all, yet shifted the weight of the room. Even time seemed to hesitate, as if it forgot what to do. There was nothing we had to say, still it gathered anyway. In the space between each breath, something softer than regret. You felt like a line half written down, that I knew but never found. And I stayed where your presence lay, like a tone that refused to fade. No beginning I could trace, no clean ending to replace. The trumpet cried somewhere behind, soft and blurred like a second mind. Your eyes held a distant flame, not quite lost, not quite the same. I leaned in but not too far, just enough to feel the shift. There are moments that never land, they just hover slow and adrift. We the silence do the work, where the deeper meanings lurk. No need form, no need control, just the outline of a road. You felt like a line half written down, that I knew but never found. That I stayed where your presence lay, like a tone that refused to fade. No beginning I could trace, no without a claim, left the air but took no name. Still your shape remains somehow in the silence of right now. I don't hold or push away, I just let it gently stay. Some connections never close, they just soften as they go. If it fades, let it be kind, leave no edges left behind. There's a beauty in the trace of something we can't replace. You felt like a lot half written down that I knew but never found, and I stayed where your presence lay, like a tone that refused to fade. No beginning I could trace, no clean ending to replace. A low light leans across your quiet frame, like it forgot why it came. Your shadow stretches just before you move, testing out a different groove. A silent pause hangs in your hand, like something neither planned. Nothing shifts, but something grows in places no one knows. We stay right at the edge of touch, where silence says too much. No clear step, no release, just a tightening underneath. Sliding slow, don't let it break. Let it hover, let it ache. Every second pulling tight, holding back what feels like right. It's sliding slow. Your breathing lands, yeah. Your breathing lands just out of line, then quietly matches mine. A passing glance begins to stay longer than it should delay. The room leans closer than before, but no one moves toward the door. And in between what we don't say, something finds its way, balanced on a fragile scene between control and what we mean. No retreat and no demand, just a tremor in your hand. Sliding slow, don't let it break. Let it hover, let it ache. Every second cooling tight, holding back what feels like. Sliding slow, sliding slow, yeah. The air folds in without a sound, like gravity without the ground. A passing touch that almost stays, then slips into a softer phase. The moment bends but doesn't end, it circles back again. slow. Sliding slow. You pause just long enough to think, then let the moment start to sink. Eyes don't lie, but they delay what your mouth won't let you say. Every move a careful dodge, like you're building up a hedge between the truth and what you show, in a rhythm moving slow. Every second holds a clue, but it slips before it's true. In the space between me and you, there's a break we both can't view. You gave a split-second alibi, just enough to let it slide. Every answer slips aside before it's ever verified. Glass reflects a fractured scene, half of falls and half unseen. Your reflection shifts its shape like it's trying to escape. Every word you almost land turns to something loosely planned. Nothing steady, nothing fixed, just a set of quiet tricks. Nothing holds, it bends away. Every truth begins to sway. In the lines you try to play, there's a price you never pay. You gave a split-second alibi, just enough to let it slide. Every answer slips aside before it's ever verified. Still, but tension stays, hanging in the subtle phase. I could call it out right now, but I wouldn't know just how. Every doubt becomes a thread, pulling through the words unsaid. So I sit and let it be in this quiet uncertainty. And nothing clean. Every truth stuck in between, in the space we never mean. There's a shift we haven't seen, and a split-second alibi, just enough to let it slide. Before it's ever verified. The crooked rhythm spills like ink across the corners of the block. Sidewalk breeze in broken patterns, loose chains ringing in a cup. Someone hums without a reason, like the night just woke them up. Air is thick with passing fragments, half a sentence, half a sigh, and every glance just slips right through me, like it never learned to try. Something in the rhythm won't release, keeps returning, small and restless. We don't break, we just repeat, soft collisions in the beat. Nothing clear, but everything stays in the low signal of this place. We don't speak, we let it drift. Every pause becomes a shift. What is lost still circulates in the low signal of this place. A shadow leans against the corner, like it's waiting for a cue. Neon stains the edge of motion, but the color never grew. Footsteps echo out of sequence, like a code I almost know. And every turn resets the pattern back to where I didn't go. Every cycle folds into itself like a thought that won't surrender. We don't break, we just repeat, soft collisions in the beat. Nothing clear, but everything stays in the low signal of this place. We don't speak, we let it drift. Every pause becomes a shift. What is lost still circulates in the low signal of this place. A single tone hangs in the distance, like it's caught between two walls. Even silence feels divided into rise and into fall. Breath aligns with quiet pulses. Time forgets its usual shape, and the space between the seconds feels too narrow to escape. Every motion slows but never stops, like a wheel without a center. We don't break, we just repeat, soft collisions in the beat. Nothing clear, but everything stays in below signal of its play. We don't speak, we let it drift. Every pause becomes a shift. What is lost still circulates in the low signal of this place. Tin ceiling catching the light, dealer counting chips tonight. Bartender leans on one elbow, watching every shadow flow. Bass keeps walking slow and dry underneath a tired sigh. Nobody leaving where they sit, like the room is holding it. trumpet searching for a line, bent between the bars of time. Every shoulder dips a bit when the drummer settles it. You stand near the corner chair, coat still folded on your arm. Horn draws circles in the air, soft and crooked, strange and warm. A waitress gliding through the smoke, someone tells a quiet joke. Coin spin lazy near the rail, dealer half inside a tale. Drummer brushing rim and skin, letting quiet pressure in. Bass still bassing wooden floor like it knows the place before. Muted horn times out the tone like it's speaking to its own. Every table stops to lean toward the note they're barely seen. You finally take a seat, glass reflecting broken light, trumpet sliding through the beat, turning slow and turning tight. Door swings open to the street, cold air brushing dusty heat, cupboard drifting out in coast, leaving half forgotten notes. Brand still circling one small line, backed around a crooked time. Nobody calling for the end, they just wait and listening. Every glance begins to slow, watching where the phrases go. Even silence finds a place, floating in the smoky space. You look up toward the band like you almost understand. Horn dissolve into the room, leaving shadows in the blue. Tin ceiling catching the light, 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 tin ceiling, tin ceiling. Tin ceiling, tin ceiling, tin ceiling, tin ceiling, tin ceiling catching the light.
Elevator rattles up its shaft, dust dancing in weak boats. A hallway radio murmurs through half-closed doors. Someone pacing uneven tiles, loose change ticking in a cup. Baseline turning patient corners, never speeding up. Window blinds shaking thin, light slips through the seam. Every sound folding in like a quiet scream. Fourth floor flicker watching, soft pulse hiding in the wire. Steps move slow and careful while the groove climbs higher. Ice machine coughing once and falling back asleep. Cardboard boxes stacked crooked, secrets they keep. Muted guitar scratches lightly across the steady drum. Someone counting silent measures, waiting for what comes. A shadow leans, then fades across the hall. Every small decision made without a call. Fourth floor flicker watching, soft pulse hiding in the wire. Steps move slow and careful while the groove climbs Gray light crawling through the blinds, dust settling again. Distant truck brake sign down the avenue bend. Bass still drawing narrow loops under tired air. City holding quiet signals, nobody aware. Floorboards whisper once, then scare. Every movement balanced on quiet will. Fourth floor flicker watching, and careful while the groove climbs higher. Vinyl spins and lazy lines, dusty grooves and borrowed time. Saxophone drips down the wall, every note begins to crawl. Your perfume in velvet air, lingering like you were there. I sit still, let silence play, while the night just slips away. Shadows move in slow design, every trace still feels like mine. In between the chords I find pieces you left far behind. Stay a while inside this tune, let it bend beneath the moon. Every rhythm pulls me through, all the lines return to you. Empty glass and crooked grin, late regrets start settling in. Footsteps fade beyond the door, like they've done so many more. Muted strings just brush the
pointing back again to you. Shadows move in slow design. Every trace still feels like mine. In between the chords I find easily left far behind. Stay a while inside this tube. Let it bend beneath the moon. Every rhythm pulls me through. All the lines return to you. City halls and faded gold, stories drifting half retold, neon signs just blur and sway, guiding ghosts that lost their way. Baseline walks a fragile thread through the words we never said. Every silence feels so true when the groove still leads to you. Shadows move in slow design. Every trace still feels like mine. In between the chords I find easily left far behind. Stay a while inside this tune. Let it bend beneath the moon. Let it bend beneath the moon. Every rhythm pulls me through. All the lines return to you. Umber marks along the floor point to roads that shift once more. Nothing set, directions bend. Every start evades and then you step wide and realign, like you're chasing drifting signs. Eyes that touch but don't confirm. Every fact begins to turn. Fingers trace a quiet maze, caught inside your muted gaze. Every move a shadowed cue, still I can't read out from you. Time and slipstream we roam. Every beat denies a home. Nothing sure in what we own. Still we never move alone. We don't mend, we just repeat. Every road returns incomplete. Nothing lands and nothing meets. Still we trail what misleads. Late again. Same design. Mirrors fracture what we show. Separate routes but one echoes. Leaves collide and disappear. Like we're close but never near. No alignment we can't claim. Still we run the same old game. Every Still, we never move alone. Dawnlight finds us in the maze. Still, we drift in offset phase. No arrival and no release, only cycles without peace. We remain in sliding zones, treading tracks already known. Time and slipstream we roam. Every beat denies a home. Nothing sure in what we own. Still, we never move alone. Obsidian tone across your gaze, quiet rhythm slowly sways. Crystal glass reflects the scene, something felt but never seen. Fingers hover, draw a line, close enough to intertwine. Breath aligns and softened pace. Time dissolves without a trace, yeah. You don't rush, you let it slide through the space we keep inside. Every second amplified pulls me closer than aside. Drift, serenade, we move in phase, lost within a quiet maze. Every motion softly stays in a loop of hidden ways. Silhouettes begin to lean in between what might have been. Shoulders brush, then separate, like we're testing what we create. Eyes that linger, then withdraw, caught inside a subtle draw. No direction, just the flow, letting only tension grow. Whoa, you lean close and drift away, let the moment start to sway. Every pause begins to play like a word we never say. Drift, serenade, we move and fade, lost within the quiet maze. Every motion softly stays in the loop of hidden ways. Morning edges through the gray, still we choose to let it stay. No goodbye, no release, only fragments without peace. We remain in borrowed time, tracing lines we can't define. Nothing fixed and nothing clear, still the feeling lingers here. You don't speak, it's just a line, every motion out of time, holding what we can't define. In between the yours, A tied out tone left open wide holds every phrase we brushed aside. Your name is hidden in the fold, yet turning cold. The bulb burns dim on borrowed time. It dyes the sheet in honey lines. I scan the parts we never knew were never you. Even ink begins to fade in the signs we never made. Something lingers in the space we can't erase. You don't end, you just remain in the contour of a stain. Every word I couldn't say finds its way. You don't go, you settle deep in the margins that I keep. Like a line I can't revise in disguise. A silent room collects the past. In murmurs built to never last. The chair still tilts the way you did, like something slid. A window breathes a sharper air. It doesn't ask who isn't there. It only moves the weight around without a sound. Every page begins to bend before it reaches any end. Something soft begins to tear, but isn't there. You don't end, you just remain in the contour of a stain. Every word I couldn't say finds its way. You don't go, you settle deep in the margins that I keep. Like a line I can't revise in disguise. The last page refuses close. It holds what no one ever knows. I trace the edge where quiet grew around you. A distant sound forgets to start. It circles back into the dark. I learned to live with what won't change. Just rearrange. Nothing leaves, it settles in under every fragile skin. I let it stay with me quietly. You don't end, you just remain in the contour of the stain. Every word I couldn't say finds its way. You don't go, you settle deep in the margins that I keep. Like a line I can't revise in disguise. A brunch cools slower than your laugh. Steam forgets why it was half. Glass keeps thumbprints of the route that no one dares to sift about. Your weekend leans before you do, like it knows what you'll undo. Even stillness tilts its drape when it feels what we reshape. A low tone sleeps beneath the door. It's been waiting long before. Every phrase we don't restore turns to something even more. We made a melody bargain, trading youth for something softened. Every glow just feels uncertain, like a gate that won't stay open. The phone forgets the planet drew, leaves it hanging between us two. Your text arrives without a place, like rain that misses every face. A coffee bends but doesn't break, watching every move we fake. Even time avoids the scene where we almost almost said a thing. Every glimmer learns to lie before it even learns to die. In the corner of your eye, there's a truth you let pass by. We made a melody bargain, trading you for something softened. Every glow just feels uncertain, like a gate that won't stay open. Noon waits outside the glass, but it doesn't try to pass. Light just pours and disappears, like it's gentle with our fears. I could name the phase we're in, but it thins before it begins. So I leave it undefined, like a bruise without a line. Nothing cracks and nothing seals, only shifts in what it feels. In the space where nothing's real, we forget what we conceal. We made a melody bargain, trading youth for something softened. Every glow just feels uncertain, like a gate that won't stay open. Curtain half open and a tenor already speaking. One long note bending the room. Tables go still while the smoke starts leaning under the ceiling gloom. Bass drops in with a careful footstep. Rhodes answers low and spare. You sit back in the corner shadow, like you've always been there. Hear that horn dragging midnight through brass. Every note lets the silence pass. That horn cuts sideways through the evening, like a blade through velvet air.